Alrighty, good
Oh,
evening.
what was that in the background? Oh, hold
I
on. Wait, it
accidentally
says
hit a.
it's still saying upcoming.
Okay.
Hold on. It's taking a second to register. Okay, YouTube says we're live. I'm sure
Mhm.
Rumble's going to be a few moments behind. Oh, nope. Rumble's on it today. All
Oh, there we
right.
go. All right, good evening, everybody. Today is Tuesday, January 20th, a little bit after 6 p.m. Uh oh.
What?
Hold on a second. Hold on. Hold up. Wait a minute. I accidentally clicked up myself out.
Oh, no, I can still hear you.
Yeah, but I'm not in the studio. Uh oh.
Oh,
Hold
you
on.
you changed. Okay, yeah, I get it. And well, now she actually moved herself out of the studio. She'll be back. It's going to be one of those days, folks. For those who are just getting here or whatnot, we're having a
Sorry.
technical
There
difficulty
we
day.
go. It made me, it said close all windows and it kicked me all the way out. So whatever.
Oh,
Okay, let's try this again. Good evening, everybody. Today is Tuesday, January 20th. Now it's 6:05 p.m.
we are
Welcome to
behind.
Rex Sisters. We are live. Please don't forget to like, follow, comment, share, and subscribe. We would appreciate it. We definitely need to get our numbers up. We're going to be going on our 1 year anniversary in a couple months, and we would like some more subscribers, so that would be
Oh,
great.
yes, please.
Hey, Blue, good to see you.
Yeah,
Um,
hi, Blue. Yeah, only D
yeah,
technical
uh huh.
difficulty. She closed herself out this time,
Yeah,
though, to be
yeah, it was
fair.
my fault. Yeah. Uh, and I would like to again apologize for Friday. That ultimately turned into the flu, which I'm still
It's no
recovering
fun.
from. Yeah, it was not a fun weekend at all. Temperature of almost 102 and vomiting
Oh,
and all of that happy stuff, and so we're still not feeling good. In fact, we had sloppy joes for dinner, and let's just say I'm struggling to keep it down. So, hmm
we had chicken stir fry. Be glad you didn't have that.
I don't know. It sounds better than sloppy joes do, but
I don't know. I want sloppy joes on some potato chips. I love putting sloppy joe mix on potato chips,
oh, that's interesting. Hmm.
especially the Lay's like the Ruffles, the crinkle
Yeah.
cut ones.
Right.
Oh God, yes, perfect for dipping into it. They don't break as easy because they're thicker.
Right.
And yes, and it's again, I grew up just dunking my chips. I mean, I would take and spoon it onto the chips instead of the bread,
Right.
and my mom would look at me like I was nuts, but at least I'm eating it.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's the problem.
Something about it.
Yeah, he even bought bakery shop buns, and once you put the sloppy joe on it, it gets all soggy and nasty, and ugh,
We use just hamburger buns,
yeah,
regular old hamburger buns, or hot dog buns, or bread, whatever we had laying around, because
yep. I'd
that's what I
rather
grew up
just,
on.
I'd rather have chili over mashed potatoes or rice.
Ooh, sloppy joes over vinegar chips. That
Oh, that would be
does.
interesting.
Oh, I might have to try that. Or the dill pickle chips. You know, the dill
Hmm.
pickle flavored
I haven't,
ones?
I haven't had those yet. They make those.
I don't care that everything was made pickle flavor, but that might go good because then I get my pickles and my
Right,
sloppy
right.
joes.
They make those. They're Vlasic makes them. They're called pickle balls, and I'm
Oh
assuming
yeah.
I haven't tried them because they're really expensive. I mean, for the little
Mm-hmm.
bag you get, I think it's $2. But and I wouldn't care for a pickle ball to begin with. But I'm assuming it's on the order of like a cheese curl or cheese puff kind of thing, but in pickle flavor. Now I have tried the jalapeno flavored version, and that's pretty good. But
I like jalapeno cheese puffs.
mm-hmm,
Danny gets them all the time. And there was
yeah,
one that he got that was a little too jalapeno y. I like it where it's a perfect blend, not
mm-hmm,
an overwhelming one or the other. I like
mm-hmm,
that perfect blend.
Mm-hmm.
And some that he gets are a little too strong jalapeno flavor, not enough cheese flavor.
Right.
And I like the other brand he gets. It's more expensive, but it's a really good blend, even
Is it the one
balance.
in
You
the
get your cheese and the jalapeno.
is it the one in the green package?
No, this is actually like a brown bag. It's like a tannish brown,
Hmm.
kind of like a drab brown that the military uses.
Huh. You'll have to let me know the name of it.
Next time he picks it up, I'll get a
Yeah.
picture of it and send it to you because it might be just a local thing made in a and sold in a
And
store
then
down
little.
here. I don't
Yeah.
know,
Mm-hmm.
but it is one of my favorites, and it's like, ooh, yummy. And my kids have been getting better with this spices and stuff because my mom would not tolerate it when we lived up there. Heaven forbid.
Yeah.
So we had to have basically seasoned her way food only. And my
Mm-hmm.
kids are now expanding their palates
There you
and they
go.
are liking the flavors.
There you go. Oh, before I forget, so I got sidetracked because you sent me a video that I
It
started
was a
to
good
watch.
video, wasn't it? Just for the
Well,
hell
I
of it.
didn't. Yeah, I didn't get it finished because I got breaking news. And the
Yeah.
breaking news is Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton have been held in criminal contempt of Congress, and they
Oh,
will
like everybody
be,
else who's held in criminal contempt and nothing gets done.
well, they're going after them, they claim.
Yeah, I ain't holding my breath.
Yeah,
You know how many
well,
times Congress has threatened to go after people and all that shit and they never do?
well, we'll
Ah.
see what happens. And so in the press conference, they claimed he was a paid heckler. He said he was a reporter, but James Comer's trying to talk, and the guy just was rapid fire and ant throwing questions.
Oh, of
And
course.
he's like, I'm not finished talking yet. Could you wait? And the guy was like, well, what about Giselle Maxwell? What about, Donald Trump? What about, he just went on and on and on and just,
It's like remove him. Remove
hmm
him at that point.
well,
He's a disruption,
they
not
said
a journalist.
they didn't know where security was. So how
How the
can
hell
you,
do they not know where security is?
exactly, how can you
It's the
be safe?
freaking White House.
Uh-huh. How could you be safe?
I mean, the government. Really?
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Mhm.
I'm calling bullshit on that
Uh-huh.
one. Congress is full of crap,
Somebody
just show and
obviously,
tell. No. Oh, go
if
ahead.
they
Sorry.
come out and it's their job to protect them when a press conference is going on, then somebody's not doing their job because it would be very easy for somebody to assault one of them.
Exactly. And yet,
Mhm.
where's press? You know what? Security should be at each door.
Mhm.
What do they mean they don't know where security is?
Right. And Blue is exactly right. I'm so disgusted with the lack
Mm-hmm.
of accountability in every area that we have seen.
It's
From
nonstop.
Minnesota to Fauci and that whole group to every
Going
area
back
where,
over a
yeah,
century,
yeah,
there has been little to no accountability of our politicians.
nope,
High up politicians. Low down state level, yeah, they get arrested all the time, but the federal level
mm-hmm,
politicians, shit don't happen to them.
yeah.
Come on.
I worked. Well, city council member. He was his brother, and that was in construction. He ended up going to prison
Mm-hmm.
for several years, and then my boss that I worked for ultimately ended up going to prison. But guess what? He got out and became a state legislator.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Good
Mm-hmm.
point, Cannabis. He's still waiting on WMDs from 2003.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I'd go further back. Go to the 70s. What was it that we went to Vietnam for?
Yeah.
Heck, what did we go to Korea for? Oh, yeah, Korea asked for help.
Yeah.
That was about it.
Good evening,
So,
cannabis. Thanks for joining us.
and thank you. Yes. Yeah, weapons
Yes.
of mass destruction, my ass.
Right. So it's a little bit on the crazy side.
Uh
Um.
huh.
So what else is going on your end before we get into it?
Oh, Buddy started his job today.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he seems to like it. They give one free water or one free coffee a day, so he can he can bring his own if he needs to, type of thing. But it has to
Okay.
be at a in a water bottle and stuff. We
Okay,
went for the
hold on.
Panda Express.
Wait 1 second. Just a
Go
second.
ahead.
You get a free water and a free coffee. That's
Or a free coffee.
oh
Or a
what?
free coffee.
So you
One
mean
or
like
the
a
other.
bottle of water out of the case? Or
No, I think it's just the water from the fountain,
oh, get the
possibly.
fuck out of here! I'm really. Come on,
Eh,
come on. That's come on.
Vanilla, this isn't his first job. It's actually his third job. He's been working on and off since he was 16.
Come
So
on.
he's used to working.
A free water,
I
getting
think
it out
I
of the
know.
faucet. Are you
When I
kidding
worked
me?
fast food, you would get one large soda to get you through the day, or one large tea or water, whatever choice you had. You didn't get refills. But he can pay for his own drinks and stuff. He has money.
Yeah,
Actually,
but I'm
today he,
just saying.
I know,
Do you
they
know
got
the
to make money
ludicrous?
somehow,
I know the ludicrousness of getting a free water out of the faucet.
I believe. I might
Okay,
be wrong about that. Hey,
you need.
buddy, is that a bottled water or tap water? Store brand water. So the store brand bottled water, tap water he can refill with.
Okay, that's a little
I was
bit
good.
better.
Let me confirm this. Okay. And of course, the coffee is fresh made there. I'm
Right.
allergic to work. I had a bad I get a bad reaction. I do too. My back kind of spazzes out, and then they have to call an EMS to get me. So,
Hmm.
joys of nerve damage and other things. But no, he it's work. And today someone paid or tried to pay with a $2 bill, and he or no, they did, and then Buddy swapped the $2 bill for two singles so he could have it with the store.
There
So
you
he
go.
got a $2 bill out of it. And some guy was speaking Spanish and was trying to use his phone to translate.
Oh my.
Um, D, you're more upset than him. Chill out. Blue
Well,
Rose.
I mean, I'm like, come on. Hey, I'm HR. I look out for employees too. You know.
Yeah. But Buddy's glad he took a couple semesters in school of Spanish because it helped him understand a little bit what the guy needed. Otherwise, he would have been completely lost because the guy typed it in Spanish and evidently it didn't translate very well.
Hmm.
So,
I wonder if he was legal or illegal. Huh.
well, the I know the state police and the ICE and everything have been patrolling all the truck stops and way stations left, right, and center in our area.
Wow. That's what you
Yeah.
said last week. Yeah.
Yep. State, locals, all of them are on it. They're not playing. No illegals allowed. And our governor's not thrilled about it, but the state's cooperating
Mm-hmm.
on a local level. So,
So,
screw the Louisville.
so the other piece of food that I'm eating, do you want to know what it is?
Potato.
No.
What?
I normally never eat this, but it sounded so good that I said yes to it. Angel food cake with vanilla ice cream and fresh strawberries.
Oh, no, that sounds delicious.
Yeah, that's what I have right now. A little bit of chocolate sauce on top would make it, but yeah,
Oh,
vanilla, you're
yes.
right. Spanish is a necessity nowadays. I agree.
I took Spanish in high school. I also worked with migrant workers, so my Spanish is rusty as hell. I've been working on it the past few years with the help of Blue and another person on the Discord. They help me with translations if I need them, if it's
Mm-hmm.
way beyond me.
Right.
So, but I've been working on my Spanish for quite some time now.
And Vanilla pretends he doesn't know it.
That's like the only good thing about my job. I just pretend I don't know Spanish. Yeah, I'm
Oh.
not nearly proficient, but I understand what people are. I can usually understand writing better than spoken,
Mm.
especially if they speak really fast. Puerto Ricans are the bane of my Spanish existence, and yeah, I live in New Mexico, and my Spanish is no bueno. Like cannabis over here. No, I took as many languages as I could. I also took 2 years of French. I took 2 semesters of Chinese Mandarin in college. I dabbled with Swedish. My Korean would only get my ass kicked because it was Taekwondo commands.
Right.
Um, so and counting, I can count a little bit in Korean. And I know a few phrases in various other languages. I'm I'm the token new white guy here in New Mexico. But yeah, I've always been friends with the Spanish community everywhere I've gone. I
No, you're
have never had a
wait,
problem.
cannabis. You're not the token white guy. You're the token white supremacist.
Get it right. We're all
Yeah.
white
Let's
supremacists,
be
according to
yeah,
the media.
right. Be politically correct here.
It's funny for all that me supposedly being a supremacist and all that. I've always
Right.
gotten along really good with the Spanish communities,
Uh-huh.
whether it's from Mexico, Puerto Rico. Puerto Ricans are fun, and I will tell you, Puerto Ricans and Mexicans are my favorite, especially when you put them in a room together. It's just never ending laughs when you
Right.
put those two groups in a room together. So I mean, and again, I get along with every. That's the thing though, is I get along with almost every culture because I also studied a lot on these cultures growing
Right.
up, and I understand their cultures and they can appreciate that. I put some effort, and when I ask questions, it's legitimate questions that I'm truly curious about their
Right.
culture, and I like to learn.
Right.
It's not that sarcastic, oh, what, you eat cats and dogs? No, that's not what. It's like, hey, I was reading in an encyclopedia somewhere that, cats and
You
dogs are
eat
considered
cats and dogs.
delicacy in your culture.
Right.
And certain cultures will be like, yes, it is considered delicacy, or it was a thing of the past. We don't do that anymore. I mean, there's countries in South America where raw monkey brains are a delicacy, and you're
Right.
expected to eat them if they're offered.
Right.
Uh, know what you're doing before you go there. Know these cultures
Exactly.
before you interact with the communities, and you won't sound like those idiot Karens from the freaking suburbs that
Right.
truly are the idiots,
Right.
like
Right.
that make us look bad.
Yep.
Get rid of the crazy Karens that haven't studied all these cultures.
Right.
I absolutely love learning about other cultures and languages and stuff. Um, so that's why I tend to blend in everywhere I go. It's because I know enough to not look stupid.
Well, that's
I
good.
still stand out because I'm obviously the white person, but it's still fun.
Well,
I
that
don't
and the
know. I
green
like
hair.
American
I
culture.
mean, it's not that you're white, it would be that you have green hair.
Well, or orange hair or
Hmm.
whatever. We're still kicking around whether we want to do the two-tone dye this next time or just a single color. So, a
You know
pastel
I'll
and a
be looking at
vibrant.
you. You know I'll be looking at you sideways then.
Who cares? It's my style.
I
Screw
know.
it.
I'm just saying.
But this is again where I confuse people. I
Hmm.
look like the crazy libtard with the piercings and this, that, and the other, and the hair dye and the whatevers. But that was my style before they even became a thing. This was me
Right.
back in the '90s, and my
Hmm.
parents were like limiting my hair dye to black. That
Right.
was the best I could get, unless I wanted to put Kool-Aid in my hair, and that was not going to happen well either.
Right.
Some people in some people think you need a passport to visit New Mexico. There's idiots who don't know Puerto Rico is part of America.
Hmm.
Chubby golden labs, white picket fence, and are pretty cool if you ask me. I agree, but I'd go with the black lab. I love my black labs. I've had two in my life that made it over 10 years. One made it to 14, one made it to 17. Beautiful, beautiful dogs. Very well, very loyal, very funny. Sorry. But
Well,
yeah, I agree. The American culture is great, but we also have our individualism, which makes it wonderful. We can be ourselves, and we don't have to conform to a specific hairstyle, a specific dress code. I don't have to have my head covered if I don't want to.
well, the way things are going, you'll be covering that green hair or that two-tone hair, so don't worry.
Only if I choose to wear a baseball cap.
I don't know if you'll get away with that or not, but we'll see.
Uh, in my area so far, it's still good old fashioned American country.
There you go. All right,
We
you
do have
ready
the
to get?
people in town that, have the dyed hair and the weird
Mm-hmm.
piercings like me, and I treat them like everybody else, and they
Mm-hmm.
like that.
That's good. All right, you ready to get started? Today we decided to go early, and we're going to go as long as we possibly can. And
Yes.
coverage is probably going to continue tomorrow, but we will start at 7 p.m. tomorrow. And we, as you know, last week we were concentrating on the threat of China, and there's still a lot to cover in that area, and we'll hopefully pick that up again next week. It all depends on what's going to happen in Minneapolis and Minnesota, as well as Portland is popping off, and DC is, and we kind of don't know where things are going, but there is definitely a crisis going on in Minnesota. And we believe that that is the hotspot or the epicenter of what is to be the pop off that could set off a potential civil war in the United States. And
Mm-hmm.
we are not saying that lightly. After everything that we've seen, with California being crazy, with the state of Washington being crazy, with even places like Wisconsin going off the wall, where
Everywhere is.
it's everywhere. Where is there a sane place to escape to? I wouldn't even know where to go now anymore.
Well, my town doesn't have any problems. We don't have
Hmm.
rioters. We don't have protests. We have people going about their daily lives, working alongside each other, whether they agree with each other or not.
Right. And I
But
mean,
that's
and
the joys of a
it's
small town.
right. And, we have half the country believing in one way, the other half believes in the other way. Both halves believe the other side is wrong. How do we come to some type of middle ground? And is it too late to save Minnesota, particularly Minneapolis? And if so, how are we going to go about making that change? How are we going to go back to law enforcement in this country?
Well,
How is
again, state by state, each state has their own way of doing things.
right?
Um, so it's like, I think a big portion of fixing this is fixing the education system, getting rid of the propaganda bullshit.
Right?
Because right now, if you listen to the news, you think every town across the United States is like Minnesota,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not. It's not.
Well,
It's
not o-
only the
uh,
major cities and not all of them.
yeah, but not only that, though, Crazy B, I don't see a lot of good reporting coming from the mainstream media.
No, you're not going to. They want you depressed and scared. It's a propaganda tactic.
I
It's been
mean,
used by
they're
our own
not.
nation against other countries.
Yeah, I mean, they're not providing accurate information. There are out and out lies being told by news anchors.
Yes.
Why?
And Paramount refused to let us use their 60 minutes video recently. I got to fix the thumbnail to reflect that. But again,
Hmm.
when people do counter it and point it out as you're going through their news coverage, they get upset and
Right.
they don't want it and they stifle it.
So we
Thank
got,
God Rumble has our unedited versions.
right. So we had what, a first copyright strike from them that you
It wasn't a
fought,
strike,
and
it was just
uh,
a copyright claim.
the first one, the first one.
Yeah, both were claims. Neither one was a strike.
Okay. So the
A
first
strike
one
is if
though,
you
you
refuse to do something about it and keep
okay.
doing
So
it
the
over and
first,
over
yeah,
again.
the first one though, you put that request in and
Successfully
they
beat.
we successfully beat that. This second one we did not. So we have 30 minutes of content that you have to remove, correct?
Yeah,
Mhm.
liberal family members are like, let's go vote for Jasmine Crockett. Funny you should mention her.
Mhm.
She's up first.
Yeah. And
But honestly, if we're going to fix this nation, we got to fix the schools. We got to stop with the propaganda And we got to stop fear mongering people. And again, this is
The
what we saw.
problem is, though, that's going to take time. And in the
It is. There
meantime,
is
what's
no
going to
easy
go
fix
on?
to this. In the
Right.
meantime, we're going to have to go through, like we did through the 60s, the race riots. Everyone's going to be fighting each other, thinking it's about to be a civil war. And like I have always said, do not move unless you see your state militia move. Don't make
Mm-hmm.
any jumps. Just be prepared to. Have your little gardens, have your own little ways, have your own little network of family and friends to keep tabs on each other and help each other out. Because when shit does hit the fan, if it does, you're gonna need them more than ever,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll realize exactly what community means
Right.
when if something happens. And again, it doesn't even have to be a full blown war to need this network of people. And I've started a network of people. If shit hits the fan, they know where to find me. They know how to find me,
Mm-hmm.
and we can either adjust things, help each other out, find ways to get between, or meet all up at what my place, their place. Just stuff like that is common sense for me. You
Right.
never know what's going to happen or when it's going to happen, so have a backup plan. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying be paranoid, but be well stocked,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you're going to need at least a year's worth of supplies while your garden is getting ready for the next season.
Correct.
You are going to
And
need it.
a year's worth of supplies is a lot.
It is. Like, I
And you,
have a single like a carport. You would need that stocked end
right.
to end completely for a full year for a
Mm-hmm.
family of four.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So that's my thing. Now, we don't know which way it's going to be, but obviously they're pushing for civil war. It's
Right.
what they did in the 60s when a bunch of union and workers' riots got labeled race riots to force the National Guard to come in and handle things. At least in Michigan, it was that way. And then, of course, after so many weeks of being told it's a race riot, it literally turned into race.
Right.
It literally turned into a racial issue because they kept preaching that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
So neighbors started turning on neighbors, and it's insane how quickly people develop a mob mentality.
Mm-hmm. And that's
I
the
mean,
biggest thing. That's yeah, and that's the biggest thing out of this is groupthink and mob mentality. So there are videos that you'll see that we're going to play where, for example, Nick Sorter, Jake Lang, Cam Higby, some of the big name guys that
we
are
have a
out there,
full lineup.
which,
Oh, we may not get to it all today.
yeah, which, by the way, the lack of security on their part, they got to be the three are extremely, in my opinion, stupid.
I
The
have
lack
to
of
agree.
the lack of security, knowing that people were out to kill them. I mean, Jake Lang was supposedly, allegedly stabbed in the neck. Once you go down and somebody, or, once somebody throws the first punch, it's over. There is nobody's going to stop it. Nobody's going to
They're going to stop when they stop, when they're
hmm
burned out.
Right, that's
And by the
right.
way, about the time they stop, someone else is going to step up.
That's correct. I mean, look at Kyle
Yeah,
Rittenhauser. You know what I mean? Same situation. It is uh, the fact that you go down there with gas masks, riot gear, baseball bats. We're going to see long rifles, assault rifles, all types
there
of
is technically
things.
no such thing as an assault rifle.
Well, that's
It's
what they're
just a
calling.
term
That's what they're
made up
calling
by
them.
Congress to scare people.
Correct. And
And by the way, those little high powered rifles,
hmm
yeah, as you know, a single shot rifle can do a hell of a lot more damage than those can,
well, we're going
and
to
from a
see some.
much
Yeah,
further distance.
there is. There's a lot to see. Some of it is extremely disturbing. Uh, so if you're not able to tolerate watching this kind of content, today's not the day to watch then. And tomorrow probably isn't the day to watch. Because it's going to be some heavier duty stuff than I'd say we normally show. Uh, and we're going to watch some things that are a
As long
repeat.
as the original content creator blurred it a bit, we should be
Hmm.
good. If not, we may have to wait till tomorrow and I have a chance to blur it.
Yeah. Um, and on some of it, it's going to be the same instance that occurred, but you're going to get it from different angles. And it's important, I think, to view it that way, because
Yes.
part of what we're trying to convey is we want you to experience what they experienced. We don't
And
want
if you see it from every other angle, you get a perspective that you might not have on who really started it.
correct. And so put yourself in the shoes of what we're about to show you and think about how you would react if you encountered the same types of situations. What would you do? How would you respond? It's,
Well, most of this, I would say I wouldn't put myself in that situation in the first place.
well, in some of it, you're not going to have a choice because
Well,
you
and I
weren't,
get that.
yeah, you weren't, there was no plan to be in that situation. People force
Somebody just
themselves
randomly
upon them.
assumes and jumps down your throat.
Right.
Yep.
And people, and you were forced to be put into a situation. Your family and your children were forced. So
Hmm.
let's get started. And I think the best way that we thought to kick this off was the GOP just released a devastating ad against U.S. Texas Senate candidate Jasmine Crockett. As you know, she's already a U.S. House representative. They claim it's absolutely brutal. I think it could be far worse. Crazy B will fill you in on just how worse it could be when we're done watching it. But this is the epitome of how this started
Yep.
and how it has continued and how it has been fueled and flamed since 2015. It,
Actually, I would say, yeah, because it was Trump's running
right,
that really
correct. It was
threw a
his.
wrench in the system.
Hmm. It was Trump running that really blew up. It was
Uh huh.
before Crazy B, but it was
Not as
more
bad until
right. It was
Trump
under
put
the
his
rate.
hat in
Right,
the ring.
exactly. When he did, they went off. And
Yep.
so let's watch, and we'll get started from here, and then Crazy B will add some contextual type pieces at the end. So go ahead.
I challenge somebody to go and find a clip of a Democrat invoking violence.
Let's extinguish him for good. I will go and take Trump out tonight.
We're going to fight it in the courts, and we're going to fight it in the streets.
When they go low, we're going to bury them below the Capitol. That's what we're going to do.
We take them to the mud and choke them out.
You know, there needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be.
We're walking down a damn different path. We're fighting fire with fire, and we're going to punch these sons of bitches in the mouth.
I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of them.
Now punch back, kick back, dunk over their heads, and win some fucking power.
Fight back, punch back, and make sure that they stay down. And you know what? Kick them when they're down, because they deserve it.
I think that you punch. I think you punch. I think you're okay with you okay with punching.
We are at war. And that's why the gloves are off, and I say, bring it on.
We are not only gonna punch you back, but we are gonna knock you out.
Like we're in a war right
Wow.
now to save this country.
They covered quite a
And
few.
So you have to be willing to do whatever is necessary in order to save the country.
Well, I am here to tell you, not only are we gonna punch back, but we about to beat you down.
And goddamn it, shut down the Senate! We are at war!
When they go low, we kick them.
Even in states where Donald Trump won big, that it does you any good running away from Donald Trump. I think you need to go back and punch him in the face.
Let's make sure we show up wherever we have to show up. And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. and you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
Yeah, they had
Okay,
we did
so
our own before this. We did our corrupt politicians deep dive where we covered all of this. And
okay.
we had Bernie Sanders and Chuck Schumer and a few others.
I think we touched upon Hillary Clinton.
Yup.
We did Maxine. I mean, we did way more than the little bit
Maxine
that they
Waters goes
covered.
back to
Maxine
O.J.
Watt. Yeah,
Simpson
yeah,
doing this kind of shit.
right. So, for anybody that's interested, go watch our corrupt politicians episodes that we did. And not only will you find information on their behavior towards the general public that are conservatives, but you'll find more details on why we say they are corrupt
Oh,
in what they're
yes.
doing.
Very corrupt.
Now this ad, and again, for those of you that are out there on the left, we challenge you to bring the same type of video showing Republicans doing the same type of thing. We'll air it. We'll condemn
Very
it.
much air it.
We'll do the same thing. We'll rip it apart just like we are here now. But again, who, where, when, what, and why? Where? Where are they? We keep issuing challenge after challenge to the left, and nobody has submitted anything.
Hey, JJ, glad you could make it.
Hi, JJ. I figured you got to
Yeah.
get back to work.
I'm still waiting, like you said. I have no problem getting the video. Give me a name, give me a link to a video or a statement in paper that I can double check and triple check. And I will be checking for AI because I know AI content exists. And yeah, I'm still waiting. I will gladly call out the right just as much as I call out the left because it's unacceptable.
But I
have yet to see a Republican make statements like what we just heard.
I mean, I feel like we're missing the boat somewhere.
No, I've scoured pretty good. I've scoured the internet. Now, are there idiot like right wing people who are violent and racist, what we call the extreme right?
Yes, most
but I
definitely.
don't see the right wing politicians doing this.
Right.
We are talking politicians, not idiots on the street from down the road from you. Actual politicians, because they said right wing politicians. They say that the right is so violent, but the left is not. Well, they had 20 examples. We had a bunch of examples. Some of them were overlapped. Yeah. I don't, I really don't, I don't think I've ever seen a right wing person, right wing politician do this. And the extremists make up 1% ish of each end.
Right.
So then you get your paid protesters who really don't have their political hat in the game, and they're there for the paycheck.
Correct.
Which
But probably
that
they don't
exists.
believe anything. You know what I mean? They
Yeah,
don't. They
they
couldn't
just
even
want the
tell you.
paycheck.
Yeah, they couldn't tell you anything about anything.
Yeah, well, that's most of the extremists. They're so hell bent in their little world, they can't. They're just extreme. The people in the middle, where sanity prevails, are the ones who end up looking bad. We need to kind of put a stop to that. We need to rein in those extremists on both sides.
Right.
And Tucker Carlson's gone off the deep end, in my opinion. I can't even listen to him anymore. I used to listen to him, but he really went off the deep end on a few things. And it's like, yeah, I know. And I've listened to Nick Fuentes. Some of the stuff he says makes sense. Some of it is just to be an ass.
Right.
And some of it he legitimately is extreme on. He is an extremist, in my opinion. So there's that. But, you know, it's not like the crazy guy that is making weapons and explosives in his shed to take out a political figure. There are people who are talking on Blue Sky. I was watching a clip on it. I'll have to find it. Blue Sky has become the place where they're talking about making IEDs and stuff to use against ICE.
Right.
Kind of scary.
It is. Well, Blue Sky in general is a scary place to be if you're conservative and you make any kind of comment. I mean, you might as well.
And I'll say I've seen X make some pretty harsh
Uh-huh.
threats against people. The people on X and Blue Sky. I've even dialed back my time on X. I mean, other than the fact that we have to pull videos from there, but there are a lot of extremists, people that I normally agreed with, who have gone right off the deep end these last few months.
Well,
I've had
because
to
I
back
think,
away from them.
yeah, everything has escalated to such a high stake at
Hmm.
this point. Like, that people are going to fantasize, if that's the right word I'm looking for, or, make up in their head a scenario, things that aren't perhaps grounded in reality. They're
They are
making
exaggerating
assumptions.
it worse in their head than they are in
Yes,
than what it is in
correct.
reality.
And
We see that a lot.
right. They're reading something in a paper, magazine, they're hearing something on the radio or in the news, and
They're more
rather
than likely
than,
just skimming headlines and
right,
jumping from that.
right. And rather than investigate and look at, another source or other information or talk to somebody, they're just taking that same negativity in every day, and eventually it wears you down.
Yes. And that's why I've kind of dialed back what I really bother with over on X,
Mm-hmm.
because it's just gotten insane. I mean, their memes aren't even that. There's still some great memes, but there's a lot of places where I just, no, I don't, because it's gotten out of hand.
I mean, I use them more for information now because the attacks uh,
Hmm.
on anything you have to say is just so great. I mean, the viciousness, there is no debate or discussion. It is just, name calling, uh, threats. But
Hmm.
there's always some type of violence involved. It isn't worth. Plus, the negativity is such that it does wear you down, and you can go down a X rabbit hole and not come back up.
Yep.
It happens to me.
Especially in
Yep.
politics.
It happens to me way too often. I say I'm going out for one thing. I'm going out and I'm coming back. Nope. And by the time I'm done, I might have spent 6 hours in the early morning hours. And then I go, you know what? I never did look up what I originally went to look for.
That's
So,
why I limit myself on X,
right.
because it's overwhelming and it just drags you down. And that's what propaganda does. It
Mm-hmm.
loops you in and it drags you.
But
And
even things that you believed are true crazy. Be like, say, well, here's
yeah,
another interesting piece. I have it for somewhere later. But our newspaper, the one of the papers that has been around since the city was founded, is closing. I believe it's in March. I could be wrong
really,
on the date. Yeah, they were bought out by a big corporation ultimately. And the problem is their viewership or their readership has gone down tremendously.
well,
One
because
part,
most of it's propaganda bullshit.
exactly. It doesn't, does things have to do with because, you have online and this and that? Yeah. But the majority of it is because it's bullshit. Because what you read is not the truth. And anybody that has a brain cell can see. But there are people that still believe it, just like the people that watch The View, that listen to
Yeah.
Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and all of them. How could you in good consciousness believe anything that comes out of their mouth without going to check?
Hey, RB.
Hi, Arby.
Well, that's again, but and I see this on the right and the left. They both have their talking points that are become propagandized.
Mm-hmm.
It's just more on the left than it ever is on the right. And it's like, she's a frickin' Pete's.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, holy shit. And what you missed about Miss Jazz Crackhead is she said that she put out a challenge to send proof of Democrats being violent. And they sent 20 videos that we've covered most of in our corrupt politician series. So that's what you missed Jasmine Crackhead doing. Oh, you guys care and it upsets you. I have a solution.
Mm-hmm.
Stop caring. Yeah, it would be easy, but these jackasses are ruining
Well,
this country and making it
that's,
complicated.
and every day I question, do we make a difference? Why am I even bothering? Why,
It gives us
why
something to
can't,
do.
well, I could be putting my head in the sand or sleeping in. Yeah, not like I sleep, but I could be doing anything else other than looking at the news and being constantly sucked on, sucked in. But the fact that the information is not being disseminated to the public in the appropriate fashion, facts, Joe Friday, just the facts, ma'am, just the facts, instead of all this added commentary or made up bullcrap, or it just is mind boggling how much is out there that we have to go through.
Mm-hmm. It's getting out of hand, and people at least need to know there is an alternative story or an alternative perspective out there,
Right.
not just what the mainstream media puts out. And yeah, most of our audience are the ones with the brains who know to go look.
Right.
But in the event that we manage to get to people who don't go look for themselves and don't want to hear about the other's perspective, well, maybe by chance they find us and they start thinking a little.
No, we'll
I ain't
probably
holding my
just get
breath on you,
nasty.
but
Yeah, I know.
feel
We'll
free
get
to prove me
nasty.
wrong.
Right. All right. What do you got next?
Don Lemon being a dumb fuck.
All right. So this is,
So,
let's set this up. So as everybody knows, there was a alleged riot caused by Don Lemon, a storming of a church this past Sunday, and this is the start. And we're, as we said earlier, there's going to be bits and pieces, outtakes of various shots and different people taking video. There's more to come because not everything were we able to get to pull it all together. So we'll have more tomorrow that you'll see. But these are the different viewpoints, the different angles, the different people that were involved with the problem that took place. Now, two of these people that you're going to meet, Crazy B and I will do a little bit deeper dive either later this week or early next week into them, because for all intents and purposes, this is made to look like he just happened to come upon them. He doesn't know who they are. He actually has this woman on the right happens to be a BLM attorney activist whose
yes.
job is to go and to disrupt various places that they decide warrant disruption. And they have a Facebook post where she tagged Don Lemon in it and told him exactly where to be and what time and what they were doing. He presents it like he doesn't know her, as well as
Yeah,
he doesn't know
he
the
does.
white guy that we're going to meet as well. He doesn't
He
know
knows
him
these
either.
people. They coordinated this shit.
Now, imagine what it takes to pull off a coordinated effort like this. Is this like Jussie Smollett? Is this like some of the other things that we have seen where it's like it's hard to believe how much effort is put into this to make these lies and the deceit, and that there are people that believe all of this.
It's insane that anyone should think this was something that just naturally happened instead of was planned out.
All right, go ahead, hit play. We'll see where we go.
Tell us why you're doing this.
This is Operation Pull Up, more of a clandestine operation. We show up somewhere that is a key location. They don't expect us to come there, and then we disrupt business as usual. So that's what we're about to go do right now. Demanding justice for Renee Good and letting them know that this will not stand. They cannot pretend to be a house of God while harboring someone who is directing ICE agents to wreak havoc upon our community and who killed Renee Good, who almost killed a 6-month-old baby. Enough is enough. I am a reverend on top of being a lawyer and an activist. So I come here in the power of the Almighty God.
Another Jesse Jackson wannabe.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God, no, the world doesn't need this. Oh, God.
So they stormed a church on Sunday. While service was going, they went into the sanctuary screaming, "Justice for Renee Good, who was killed by an ICE officer." Now, we didn't cover exactly what happened on that because so many other content creators did. We just felt like it would just be redundant, to be quite honest. And so we decided we would stay with the China threat. Now, it's escalated. Renee Good has become, in effect, George Floyd. So, and not only that, but in my opinion, this incident has become the left's January 6th. You know, the left wanted to complain about the riot that happened on the Capitol.
They called that an insurrection. Well, no, this is absolutely an insurrection going on over there.
Yes. I mean, this involved, I don't recall anybody inside the Capitol being accosted or anybody, any of the Congress people having
hurt or injured,
hurt, or even anybody in their face screaming.
Actually, I think they had started moving them to a safe location before the doors were even breached.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And we already know there was a fuck ton of FBI in the crowd.
Yes. That they denied originally.
Yes. Hundreds of FBI in the crowd. Yeah.
So
wanna guess who started that shit?
Uh-huh. So she is a BLM activist. She's an attorney, and now she claims to be a reverend. I wonder how she would feel if we stormed her church.
You know, Jesus had a way of handling people like this. He went after them with a whip and started flipping over their tables.
Well, see, that's what's giving them the right to do this. That's exactly what they're saying. That's what
they're what they are standing for is not Jesus-like.
Oh,
because
with that.
Jesus and God were very anti-gay, anti-this. They still tried to talk to them about God's love and send them on the correct path. Jesus most certainly did that, but he did not just say, "Oh, keep doing what you're doing."
Well,
He also
they're
had
using your
issues with
exact quote
violent
back
behavior.
they're using your exact quote back in your face.
Well, I got news for them. This is no. What these people are protesting for was Jesus did not allow people and would not allow people to plow down a government official with a car because God in the Bible it literally says pay unto Caesar what is Caesar's. So pay your freaking bills. Pay your taxes. It literally says that in the Bible. This is not no. Jesus didn't protest the government. He protested the defilement of the church, well, the synagogue, because he was a rabbi, he was Jewish. But defiling the house of God, which is exactly what they have done. They are literally just like they are the ones that Jesus would be chasing with a whip.
Mm-hmm.
They don't realize it, but they are the ones. Just
But they
to
view
point
it
that out.
as they view it as the other way around.
Yeah, no. Unless they're actually holding a KKK meeting, they have no reason to be in there. Well, I guess a 6'4" man can be a woman, but then I guess if a 6'4" man can be a woman, then identity means nothing. Shit. Well, I'm sure Jesus. Well, they did have a thing. Yeah, the last person with mental illness Jesus encountered was cast into the pigs because it was possession. So there's that. What happened to impersonation? I thought it was illegal. Yeah, it is, and that goes before the 6'4" man thing. And yeah, that is impersonation, and that is, yeah, you got a good point there. But no, I'm sick of people twisting the word of God to fit their needs and
And
fit
that's
their
what they
narrative.
exactly, and that's what they do is use religion.
No, I'm using it in the actual sense. Y'all would be the ones chased out with the whip.
Well, they think otherwise.
They can think otherwise. I'm not going to be able to convince them otherwise. I am just stating for the record my perspective of, yeah, okay, I'll do what Jesus did. Come here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and then
God.
I like how even the words here used, activists kicked out. I'll be back.
You back, D? Nope. She'll be right back, folks. One moment. Yeah, I these people need to study the Bible just a little bit more. And they need to maybe sit in a few churches and ask questions and get answers.
All right, we're back.
Back.
Yeah. But even the word disrupt is to me such a disruption is ring ring. Hey Reverend, you got a phone call. That's a disruption.
Yeah.
This is a full on. This is an assault.
Yes. And the thing is Don Lemon in his a video said he wants them to feel uncomfortable. Uncomfortable is the way to make these people feel. They should feel uncomfortable. No, that is an intimidation tactic. You are using it as a fear tactic, not
Right.
as a way.
This
No,
was
this is
sheer.
fear.
This was sheer to create fear mongering.
It's not protesting, it's a fear
Right.
tactic.
Correct.
This is something that the mobs would do. The Italian mobs, the Sicilian mobs. I'm talking those mobs in the early 20s and 30s. You didn't pay up, they came in and they disrupted your business to get you to pay. This is an intimidation tactic. This is a fear tactic. It is not acceptable and it is not Christ-like.
Right.
Jesus Christ sat down and had dinner with these people that he did not always agree with. He sat and had dinner with, what was then a lady of the night. And Jesus sat with tax collectors from different religions. He sat with leaders from different religions and areas of the world. He sat and talked. He did not do this. The Italian mobs would disrupt their legs. Okay, good point. But we're not far off from that with what these people are doing. I just want to point out the difference of what is Christ-like with sitting down and talking out the differences, not disrupting a session of prayer and learning. No. So, and Jesus didn't go with a full-on mob to disrupt. He had people who followed him around, but he did not tell them to follow him. They chose to follow him. And they didn't follow him 24/7. Only the 12 apostles did. But, there's that too. So if people want to sit there and use religion, I will gladly. I just got a quick message. Okay. Yep.
Is that okay?
So, yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I'll
be
back in a few moments.
Okay.
So, if these people really want to sit there and compare their version of Christianity to what the Bible says, they will lose against me in a heartbeat. You cannot twist the word of God to fit this kind of bullshit. I'm sorry. Jesus did not go in and disrupt like this. No. And even if it was a topic where Jesus felt it was a protective class, all he did when he had a protective class was suffer not the children, let them come unto me. And anyone who hurts a child, well, yeah, something about tying stones to them and throwing them in the water and, that. So all these people who have abused their children would have been ended in biblical times. You were not supposed to abuse your child. There is a difference between correcting your child and abusing your child. And unfortunately, there was a generation that didn't know the difference, and abuse was very much accepted. You can correct your child without leaving marks on them. You can correct your child without leaving burns on them or psychologically scarring them for life. There are ways. So if you want to go by with what Jesus has said, changing your child's gender is disfiguring and mutilating them, and you would be in the bottom of the Red Sea. Just going to say that, with some stones tied to you. So let's not forget what else the Bible says. There are very strict guidelines throughout the Bible. Old Testament, New Testament, and these people are cherry picking it. And I am on a tangent. So, there's that. Let's jump to the next angle because I'm going to just keep going off. So shut me up. Okay. This one comes from Steve Austin, Wisconsin. I'm assuming he's in Wisconsin too. I don't really want to watch this video, but finally viewed it all just now. We really need to require our liberal friends and relatives to view it. It's so terrible. But the problem is the liberal friends and the liberal family are going to say this was a good idea. This was a good thing. Let me show you guys what I'm doing. Sorry. This guy. I don't see how this is going to deter liberals at all. So let's watch this. I want to point out how the men instantly stand up and get ready. Quite a couple of the men. You see the older gentleman here, and there was another gentleman on the other side with a Carhartt jacket. They instantly got to their feet. That's a sign they're watching out for their community. they're ready to go.
Renee, good!
And now it's not worth fighting with them.
Renee, good!
Let them go. Call the police. People are leaving because they... Look at that! A smart mother who took her kid out of a situation that could become dangerous. Wow! And yet the idiot liberals bring their kids to these circumstances and then wonder why their kids suffer from, tear gas. And that guy looks bored. But look at everybody emptied out.
Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are your people? Why are you not at Whipple every day fighting for the humanity, standing for our people? Where are you? You drink your coffee, you got your jewelry, you have your nice clothes, but what do you do? What do you do to stand for your Somali and Latino communities? I'm not going to comment. You have no comment, exactly.
Exactly. Don't comment, don't stoop to their level. There are people who are praying.
Renee, good!
This is absolutely unacceptable. I'm sorry. But they did the right thing by not fighting back and not stooping to their level.
All these comfortable white people who are living...
Oh, listen, it turned racial right there. All these comfortable white people. Oh my God. They literally, and again, this is what they mean. They want to make them uncomfortable. They want to turn it racial. They want to make it a fearmonger. This is where it's not, they've absolutely lost the picture. They've absolutely lost the point. They've absolutely lost the plot, whatever you want to call it. They are so far from the plot. It's not even funny. They are literally just jumping from tragedy to tragedy to exploit it, to cause problems because they have nothing better to do in their lives. Get a job, folks. Viva la revolution.
Viva la sweet.
This has got to stop.
While children are dragged into
Now, if a bunch of white people went into a black church and did this, all hell would break loose. If a bunch of white people said, oh, look at all these comfortable black people, and started all of this, all hell would break loose. And it has nothing to do with the demographics and the size of the population. No, it's just all hell would break loose. There were enough black people to basically clear out a congregation. So if an equal amount of white people went to a Southern black church, all hell would break loose. And we know it. That is how you know this is a racist thing. They are doing this out of fear tactic. It is. I've been complaining about this for years. We knew it was coming. They'd started this under Obama. They'd been pushing it and pushing it and pushing it until it did this. This is what Obama started, and he finally got what he wanted. He wanted a second race riot, race war, whatever you want to call it, that relived the 60s. When honestly, it wasn't even needed. None of the details matter. It's just perpetuation of socialist revolution. Yep. Media captured, so I'm the conspiracist. Yeah, but I've been calling it out since way back in the early 2000s. Even before that. It was on its way out through the 90s. 2000s, Obama brought it back. Hi, Dee.
Hi, honey.
Well, you see,
I'm done with my religious rant.
The main problem is China's infiltration of the education system to ruin it.
My son, about to be 22, Chinese infiltrated the education system and ruined it. How often do you hear that from a kid? But I was just pointing out how this is a tactic that is being used. And because he said comfortable white people, it's all propaganda. He doesn't know any of these people. He doesn't know how many of these people are on welfare. He doesn't know how many of these people are struggling to get by.
Well, not
just
only
because they
that,
attend
but
church, they must be rich.
Yeah, not only that. We talked about this. My city was predominantly white, but lumped in area, you were segregated. Germans
Yeah.
were in one area, Polish in another area, Jews in another area,
And they happily lived that way.
Italians, right. But you couldn't, if everybody was together, they were just all white people. The same way as I would look at the Hispanic population. You know, I don't know the difference between I mean, I do, but, you know,
But
let's take
yeah, most
Mexico,
people tend to
dialect.
lump any
Yeah,
Spanish speaker as Mexican or Latin
right.
American. And Latin
Exactly.
American isn't even an accurate term.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't
And
know the
again, but
difference.
that's how people who are from Africa, most
Yes.
people cannot differentiate the tribes of Africa, even the different countries. How most people don't know that Africa is a continent made up of different countries.
Countries, exactly. They think it's one big country. Right.
Yeah. No, Russia is a continent and a country.
Mm-hmm.
Australia is a continent and a country, but
Right.
Australia has states.
Right.
So Russia has
Well,
regions, but it's still.
speaking of which, South America just issued a declaration saying that they will not repatriate any farmlands that they take from white people, and if they do not like it, they could move to America.
Sounds like South Africa.
It is South Africa.
Oh, I thought you said South America.
No, so if I said that, I'm wrong. I apologize. I'm not.
Yeah, South
I hope
Africa's been
that
doing
I
that for
just
about
have.
30, 40 years
Yeah,
now.
I'm just warning you now. I don't think it'll be as bad as Friday, but it could be as bad as Friday. So if you tuned in on Friday, I had the throes of the flu starting. I still have it. And let's just say we had to leave to dinner did not stay down. We'll leave it at that. And I am not feeling good whatsoever. So if I start like mispronouncing words or thrown in different sentences within a different context, then you know I'm still sick, running a fever.
Yeah,
Ugh,
but it happens.
I know. I feel like I'm dying right now.
But this entire thing at the church was a tactic the Ku Klux Klan used on black
Yes,
communities.
correct. And they're taking it from playbooks. And, well, not only that, but from the civil rights era. This is what went on when I was a kid, from the time I was 5 years old until I was in my 20s.
Yes.
When we talk, and I tell you, from the time I started kindergarten through high school, and particularly kindergarten through 8th grade, I was
It was
afraid
bad.
every single day.
And they're bringing it back
Correct.
unnecessarily.
Yes.
And this
And
is
they're
again
pitting,
socialism rearing its ugly head.
yeah, and they're pitting one against the other.
Hmm.
And one solution I have is for all of these loud mouths that we see wreaking havoc. I think by law, when if found guilty, part of their requirement or their repayment to society is they have to take in an illegal, perhaps a family, into their home and provide full support for them on their dime.
Yeah,
Shut up
I
and
absolutely
shut up
agree.
and
They
put
seem to have enough money to not need to work.
exactly. Yeah, shut up and put up.
Quit running your mouth. Actions speak louder than words.
That's correct.
Bring it back to the good old days.
Yeah, help bring an illegal, sponsor an illegal to come through the right way.
Yeah, there you go. You hold them until they're free to go out, and you are responsible for any crimes they commit. And if they
Correct.
kill you, well, you learned your lesson.
Exactly.
And I don't want to see anyone else hurt. I don't want to see anyone else die. But I am
right.
so sick of people talking but no walking.
Right.
I practice what I preach. I absolutely 100% practice what I preach.
I could never walk in where I would never dream of walking into anybody's house of worship, their
And
home,
be
a
a disruptive
restaurant.
ass.
You know, the stuff like they did to Sarah, what's her, Huckabee Sanders. You know, when her
Uh-huh.
family was in the restaurant, J.D. Vance most recently, when he was at one of the restaurants and told them to get out. I would
We are
never.
not, you don't see right-wing mobs going around doing this.
No,
When's the last time anyone's seen a right-wing mob do this? But I
no.
will say the Ku Klux Klan was started by the Democrats, and
Yes,
they
they
are
were.
true to their back to the
Yes,
patterns.
right.
But now they're going after white people instead of people of color. It's still
Well,
racism.
right. And we will see tomorrow some videos of the Black Panthers that have come out of the
Yep.
woodwork now.
They're
It,
not real Black Panthers. Don't get me started.
hey, they started the Rainbow Coalition, don't you know?
Not the one that's out there right now. Wrong Rainbow Coalition.
Wrong one? Okay. All
Oh,
right.
the uniting of races versus pitting against each other is one thing, but this is not how you do it. This is how
Now,
you start getting people to fight back and get
right.
pissed.
Now, if I was, and we're going to see further on in the videos the different angles, as I mentioned, the people that are traumatized by this is a setup for PTSD.
Well, look at his face right here at the bottom, and look at these women. They're just like, this girl on the end absolutely reflects me. Like, are you done yet? Can you get the hell out of here? The girl on the left absolutely reflects me. This dude looks like a lunatic. And they're just staring at him like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
And this is not trauma. This is, I'm not afraid of these morons. They can't do shit to me. And again, you can only hurt my body so much, and then but my spirit won't break.
Yeah,
That's,
but the
if you
pain, the
have true
violence,
faith,
yeah,
you don't have to worry about it.
I know, but just we've talked about this, you and I, the fact that you have to endure the pain and the violence to get to that point is pretty significant.
Well, my mom prepared me quite well. So did the guys who hated me in school
Yeah.
and would beat the hell out of me routinely. I can handle some physical pain. I mean, shit. They might crack my back and release some of the pressure.
There you go.
Or hell, if I end up paralyzed from it. Oh, God, thank you. Relief,
Oh,
no
that's real
arthritis
nice.
pain.
Okay.
It's all about perspective. Go
Right.
ahead. You know, if you break my bones, I'll forget about the other pain. Great.
Mm-hmm.
Major Pain video, that movie Major Pain, where he breaks
Right,
the guy's
right,
finger so he forgets about his leg being blown off.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's all about perspective. It is a mental state of mind to get
Well,
yourself through these times.
I told you that I watched a video of a monk who was protesting, I believe it was the Vietnam War, if I recall
Uh-huh.
correctly. And they weren't getting anywhere with the government. They were being the government was tormenting the monks, and despite all the meetings, nothing changed. And he went in the middle of the road, and another monk poured gasoline on him, and
Uh-huh.
he set himself on fire and did not utter one peep.
Yes.
Not
And that
one peep.
is
Discipline
mind over
over
matter.
matter. Yes, ma'am.
And it is achievable.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you really gotta put some meditation time in.
Yep.
And it's, again, Major Pain is a good movie. Yes, it is.
Yep.
If you haven't seen it, watch it. Old movie from the 90s, epic. But it's just one of those things that, I've had to use what they call cognitive behavioral training, to where instead of saying I'm hurting all day long, it's like, okay, that hurts. All right, distract myself with something else. Don't constantly think about my pain. Force that thought out of my head acknowledge it's there, but then push it away. And it really does help a lot, but it doesn't help with the spasms. Okay,
Right.
I'm sorry. No amount of brain work will prevent your muscles from jerking you into a position you don't belong in.
Right.
So, but the arthritis pain, the degenerative disc pain, I can ignore that. I can put that out of my head. Right now, my left knee is fucking killing me. When I went to go to the bathroom, it felt like railroad spikes. I'm probably going to need a knee replacement in the near future. I have a feeling. But instead of dwelling on it, I find something else to do to take my mind off of it.
Well,
And
I'm lucky.
it's not easy.
I could move from my toes to my knees to my hips to my back to my head. I could just pick a body part and say, "Oh, let's."
Oh no,
go
I'm in pain everywhere. I'm just my knees are really
Well, I mean, you won't
overwhelming the rest
you
right
won't
now.
let me cut my 2 toes off by myself with the chicken shears. I mean, that would make me
Yes,
happy.
for good reason.
Yeah,
For
but
good
that
reason.
would
You'd
make
probably
me
lose your entire foot at that point. Why lose? You want to get rid of 2 toes, but by sacrificing almost your entire foot, if not all of your foot.
I would leave some skin on there that he could stitch it back.
Yeah, but you still could risk with infections and all kinds of things.
I wouldn't like cut a chicken and then cut my toe. I mean, come on. I do have a little bit more sense than that.
No, but just the way you don't like to wear shoes and you don't like to stay off your feet.
True.
Oh my God! Don't
you would
do
only
that,
know
D.
this
Jeez.
shit if I didn't tell you.
And then you'd be complaining about, oh, they got to cut off my foot. Why? Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
And I would have been like, I would have told you not to do that.
Right. I could just not tell you guys anything, and then you wouldn't know nothing.
And then you'd be dead or in surgery
true.
every other week.
Right.
Oh, what are you going to do? What are you going to cut your chicken with after that? Would you really use those shears?
Oh, that's funny.
Good point. She even got me on that one. I didn't think of that.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Good comeback. All right, I'll leave the chicken shears alone. All right.
It's our main concern is keeping you alive because we love you and we like you.
Lord, I'm dying.
Have
right
it
now.
done in a medical facility and actually listen to them about staying off that foot.
I know. It was going to be 8 weeks at least.
Yeah. I know. It sucks.
I know.
You should have seen me trying to get to college, and hold a part-time to college by bus on crutches with my foot in a cast because I had to have surgery on my ankle, but refused to miss school. I took 1 day off, and same when they did my nose surgery after they corrected a severely broken septum.
Yeah.
I took 1 day off, and I was back the next day. And my teachers are like, well, then again, I also went to class and took a final exam with a concussion. So, yeah, I'm stubborn too, but not to the point where my foot would be amputated.
That's just a guess on your part. You don't know that for sure.
Yeah, I'm going to go with.
Okay, play the next video. Let's get
medical knowledge and anatomy.
Play the next video. Go ahead, play the next video.
Okay.
Go ahead.
It's not really a video, it's a post.
Oh. Okay, so this is from Tyler O'Neill. He says, "This is not a peaceful protest. This is an invasion of a sacred space. Anti-ICE agitators disrupted City's church in the middle of service. Warning, the agitators on the left are serious. The man who posted this video bragged about doing this, comparing it to Jesus flipping over tables in the temple. This incident illustrates just how committed many on the left are to the insane narrative that any enforcement of immigration law, any deportation of illegal aliens, whom even Obama deported, by the way, is sort of some Nazi abuse. They're willing to disrupt the sacredness of a church service to demonize law and order. They're willing to alienate peaceful Americans to spread their radical message. If they did this once, there's no guarantee they won't do it again. It is important, not just for justice in this case, but for religious freedom in America, that these agitators get arrested and face charges for what they did here. I thank AG Pam Bondi and Ad Harmeet K. Dillon for taking this seriously. Also, I think it is quite noteworthy that the groups here, local Black Lives Matter groups and the Radical Justice Network, are small and do not have clear connections to large networks. These people are organizing on the ground. That said, many of the larger groups and networks do organize in order to oppose ICE, and they bear some responsibility for the climate that made Don Lemon and these others think it is okay to just take over a church service. And that's part
Yeah,
of
this
my
is not
thing.
free speech.
That's part of my thing for all of the paid protesters that they believe that are paid. There was a video that I watched that I need more confirmation to feel comfortable about, that they claim they followed the money that they had, and this is a well-known content creator, that they embedded a
Yes.
journalist in the field, and they got into the organization, and that the money trail did follow back to George Soros.
Quite a
Now,
few of them.
yes.
Yes.
Now, we're trying to get an actual confirmation of that. But with that being said, I don't even know if it's necessary to say it's George Soros. Start with the guy's bank account and who paid him, and start with
Yeah.
the low-hanging fruit and work your
And
way
work your way up that tree.
Yeah, just like they do on RICO, for a RICO case.
Yep.
You start with the low man on the totem pole and work your way up, and it'll lead to where you want to go. If you think it is George Soros, if not, this shit is being funded by people. If it's not him, it's other groups. This one guy that you'll see, he was just released 2 weeks ago on charges, and then he was also in DC harassing guardsmen. How do you don't just fly or drive around the country with what, no job?
Exactly.
Unless you're really wealthy. I mean, how many of these people, there's some scenes that we saw with Mandami, with the same people protesting in every area that he's in, and we've come to find out they're part of his staff.
Yeah.
So this is all like a made for show TV. A TV program that, we're made to believe that either a crowd is bigger than it is, or the all of America is in on this. There was
When really it's people who've had nothing to fight against since the 60s.
Right.
And the 70s, who are now middle age, older, senior citizens who want to feel relevant again, and college age students who need a purpose in life.
Yes.
Nobody in the middle.
Right. The polling that has taken place, you would believe that over, almost 60% of Americans disagree with ICE enforcement and what's been going on.
I've never gotten any of these polls. Have you?
No, never. And when you read the way they ask the questions, the misleading statements that are
loaded
made,
questions.
Yes, ma'am. It's obvious as to why somebody would respond the way they did.
Yeah, it's absolute bullcrap, and it's again overboard.
Yes. How do you say I can never get them. Quinini Pack.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever how you say their name.
Hold on. I think we're having a problem with the stream.
Okay.
I want to double check. I'm getting a loading signal over on YouTube. Let me
Okay.
check Rumble. No, Rumble's good, but YouTube is giving us a loading sign. And it's saying that we have no viewers.
Okay. Let me go out and...
I don't think it's you. It says it's excellent stream. I have a feeling that YouTube's mad at us.
For what? For the content?
Don't know.
Okay, so...
I don't know.
Hold on, let me get my phone and go out and see.
Rumble is good, yeah. For some reason, though, YouTube is playing dumb.
Okay, hold on.
I'm double checking too, and a few other areas.
One moment, please, while we continue to experience technical difficulty.
YouTube shadow ban, probably. Rumble is good, yeah. For some reason. Oh, nope. Okay, YouTube's back up.
Okay. They must have
YouTube
heard us.
just went back up.
Okay.
That's why I keep an eye on the stream as well as doing the studio, because I want to make sure it's not getting bungled or dropped, and it just all of a sudden our number count went to 0, and I'm like, that can't be right. I know better, but it seems that YouTube is disrupting our stream for some reason. Yeah, it would just show a black loading sign. Quit messing. Yeah, quit messing with us, YouTube. Yeah, that's again where it's like, huh.
Okay.
When we go from our usual 3 viewers to 5, we went from like 6 viewers active to 0 across both YouTube and Rumble, and I'm like, something don't seem right, and I'm looking, and that's when I noticed that YouTube was being YouTube.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, what's the next one you got up?
This one from again, Mr. Don Lemon.
Wait,
but this
was
is...
there a video with that previous one?
I let it play muted because it was the same exact video as the one before.
Okay.
It was the same angle.
So this one is from Anthony Brocken show, and he's an attorney. Will you click on
pro-American, pro-Constitution,
yeah.
with bonus jokes and laughter.
There you go. Don Lemon is explicitly stating that his intent in storming this church during Sunday services was to traumatize the participants. He's just confessed to terrorism. Hey, A.G. Dillon, you catching all of this? And so Don Lemon sees kids fleeing the church, and he says, it is traumatic for the people, and that's what protesting is about. So go ahead.
Protesting is not supposed to be traumatic.
Okay, well, let's see what he says.
Here, look, hugging his kid. And, you know, I imagine it's uncomfortable and traumatic for...
A father hugging his child on the way out of a church is not a sign that there was trauma in the church. As that from that protest.
Well, you can still
it's a protective gesture.
Yeah, you can still hear them screaming in the church. So I don't know. For children, it could be traumatic.
And the parents will explain it if they're decent parents, which most Christian parents are.
Right.
Let's keep watching.
That doesn't make it any less easy on a child, though. I mean, you can give them all the explanation you want, but they
but you then help them cope with it as they grow older.
Right. But still, in that young stage, in this case, it can be very... I mean, for some adults, where they're going to suffer from PTSD. This will be a huge blow to their psyche. for
It wouldn't be mine. I'd laugh at the motherfuckers because I've
yeah,
been through
well,
far worse.
I would physically lay hands on somebody, get in my face, and it. That's just.
People have gotten in my face many times, and I've walked my way out of it, talked my way out of it, because I'd rather walk or talk before fighting.
I'm in the mood to fight lately, so what can I say?
I would much rather not fight anybody.
And
I'd rather just use this as defense only.
Yeah, and I couldn't really do very much, but I still like to think in my head that I'm still capable of doing what I did in my previous life.
Yeah. I just carry a taser. So if people get too close or start putting their hands on me, bzz, it works great. But let's listen to this jackass continue thinking he's all powerful.
The people here, but again, careful, it's very slippery right here.
Oh, he cares
it's
about
uncomfortable and traumatic for the people here, but that's what really, careful, please. Really slippery. Not kidding.
I'd laugh if he fell on his ass.
That's what protesting is about.
Now he's going to want to catch everybody on the way out.
Here, look, hugging his kid.
I'm waiting for someone to just bop him in the nose. Do what that guy did to Geraldo Rivera with the chair.
Right.
I'm waiting for it because he is worse than Geraldo Rivera ever was. Just the arrogance to literally say it is traumatic for these people, and that's what protesting is not about being traumatic. Oh, good one. Oh, JJ, protesting. Show me where it says protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful. Chris Cuomo.
Right.
Exactly. Protests are supposed to be peaceful. You stand there and hold signs. Now, back in the 60s, the police were the ones who were agitating the violence and spraying people with hoses and stuff, and they weren't doing anything wrong, but sitting in a public space holding a sign. That was the protests of the 60s. Some of the 70s were most of them like that. But this is not those protests. They can blow their whistles, they can scream, they can holler, they can hold their signs, but they cannot throw things. They cannot come into churches. They cannot come into businesses. Those are not places of protest. Protesting is public, open spaces.
Right.
This is not a public, open protesting space. It is a protected space by the civil rights. Like, for someone who's so hell-bent on civil rights, he sure knows very little about it.
Correct.
These people really did not pay attention in history class, did they?
They did not.
They paid attention to the wrong facts.
Well, and the other piece, as we talked about earlier, was the fact that they're going to be throwing terminology about whiteness and white supremacy, yet Don Lemon is married to a white man. Jasmine Crockett, Ilhan Omar, Jayapal, AOC. I mean, the large majority, even Candace Owens is married to a white man.
Yes.
So is the white population, how do you rectify that, Dawn? How do you rectify going back to your home and then you're in bed with a white supremacist?
Oh, because he hates himself for being white. That's why it's acceptable.
Oh, okay. I see.
Sorry, I'm not a self-hating white person.
There you go.
Any more than I would want someone to be a self-hating black person or a self-hating anything of any race.
Right.
That's unacceptable to do to a person. That's psychological warfare.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next one. Will Don Lemon get charged and prosecuted? I may have to restart this page. Oh, nope, I don't got to refresh. Okay, let's see what this is about.
Fake right-wing propaganda news alert from this supposed right-angle news network, supposed network, that I led a protest into a church this morning in Minneapolis. That is complete BS. First of all, I had no idea who the organization was until I arrived this morning. And number two, that's what every journalist should be doing, exactly what I did. What I did was report, chronicle, and commit an act of journalism, which is what every journalist should be doing. That's what happened. So if you really want to know the truth about what happened, why don't you check it out at the Don Lemon Show on YouTube, on Substack, and on Twitch. And follow us on any of our socials if you really want to know the truth rather than getting some right-wing propaganda from a so-called news network.
Except people found that he did know this chick beforehand.
Yes, that's right, he did.
So
And he
I'm sure
knows
they looped him in to be there because it wasn't a spontaneous
exactly.
protest that wasn't announced.
And he knows the big loudmouth white guy too.
So how's that working out, Don?
Mm-hmm. I hope
It's
you
not
have a good
propaganda if
lawyer.
it's true.
That's correct.
And the fact that you knew in advance that they were going to do this, violate the civil rights of a church congregation, didn't stop it, but took advantage to report on it like you just happened to stumble onto that
And
church.
somebody made a very good point. He is not a journalist. He is
Not
not
anymore.
a reporter. He is
He's a YouTuber.
Content creator.
Yes, like the rest of us.
Right.
We have higher journalistic standards than he does.
Correct.
Just going to point that out. Absolutely higher journalistic standards than that jackass. I don't like him. I didn't like him when he was on CNN. Don't like him now. Oh, here's the right angle news that he claims is propaganda. Oh, share tap. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
So let's pause. Oh, I got to refresh. Give me 1 second, folks. I apologize. It wouldn't let me pause and back it up. So what did they have to say?
They say just days after being arrested, paid leftist agitator William Kelly, and we're going to look in, try to find more info on him for later in the week, who travels state to state harassing ICE, stormed a church and demanded churchgoers publicly denounce ICE and stand with Somalians and Latinos while swearing at parents and children.
He does know Europeans and Asians and Russians are being deported as well, right?
I don't know.
Oh, I wish they knew that we were deporting people of all countries who don't belong here.
Like, you mean the 185 countries that are here illegally? Okay.
Yeah, we're deporting them as well. But his simple mind, who doesn't know enough about the world geography to know where any of these countries are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, I'll even admit there are some countries I don't know. I don't know of them, and I don't know where they are, and I don't know anything about them. But I know plenty of other countries and continents and the geography to get a close enough map, throwing of a dart at a map, basically to understand where they might be.
Right.
Just by the pronunciation of the country. There are certain giveaways, but let's see the video because, oh my God.
As you can see, all these pretend Christians, all these comfortable white people who are living lavish, comfortable lives while children are dragged into concentration camps. You're living real life, nice lives with your...
Where is there a concentration camp in America right now?
That's what I want to know.
Someone, please, where?
Yeah, we've heard.
Because I will join you in fighting that. The concentration camp.
Yeah, we've heard the left say that repeatedly, and I mean specifically lawmakers say that.
Where is this concentration camp?
I don't know. Alligator camp, maybe.
Tell me where this concentration camp is, so I can go there and have a fit about it, or I will highlight it. I will spotlight it. This is not a concentration camp. It is a detention center, unlike the concentration camps we had during World War II for the Japanese. Anyone? Please. Lurking and while working. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, tell me where these concentration camps are. Tell me where they are, please. Are these the same concentration camps you wanted to throw the people who want to get the Oh, never mind. Never mind. You know
Yeah,
where I'm going, and it'll get us
I
in
know.
trouble.
Right.
So, yeah, the concentration camps are DUMBs, are in the DUMBs.
With your lattes, doing absolutely nothing for your Latino and Somali brothers and sisters. You come here to a
There are
man
people
wearing
praying
a
for
suit.
them
Is a preacher? Did Jesus
because
wear a suit? Did Jesus profit off
it's
the
the only
words?
thing you can do in a circumstance like
Jesus
this.
would die
Open
for
your
the
Bible
women.
and pray.
Do not touch me. Touch me again and see what happens. Hey, you can't.
Oh,
You
he's
are a fake
lucky.
Christian.
He's
Why
lucky
are you
my
not
son
standing
wasn't
with your
there.
Somali and Latino communities? Why do I not see you out at Whipple every day protesting this attack on humanity?
Because I have a job. That's why you don't see me out there every day. Because I have a life. I have some responsibilities.
Well, not only that, but the ICE is going after criminals.
Yeah. Criminals get their due process. Again, they're due. They go before a court. The court says, nope, they don't belong here. They get removed. That is what ICE is doing.
And yeah, are they making some mistakes? Or some Americans getting swept up? Or other people that are perhaps in the same vicinity
But
as an
those people
illegal?
get released
Yeah, they
within
do.
hours or
Right.
a couple days after it's all sorted out. And you know what? You just sit patiently through the process and let the justice system do its job.
Right.
If it was me swept up, I'd sit there, I'd ask for a lawyer, I'd present all my proofs, and then I'd be on my merry way. But then again, you also wouldn't see me harboring any illegal criminals from another country.
Right.
So there's that too. That's why I don't get swept up in ICE raids.
Humanity, where are you? You're sinners. You're pretending to be Christians. But we know you live an easy life, don't you? A very easy life.
How can you determine he has an easy life?
Mm-hmm.
Some of those people might have the same clothes every Sunday.
Okay, so wait. Here's my big thing. Has he looked in the mirror?
No.
Has he looked in the mirror? Is he not white?
Does he not have an easy life?
Right. Right?
Oh,
Am
you
I
have
missing?
such an easy life. You don't have to work. You can go protest and follow ICE around.
Right.
Great. Take some people in and help them get through the process of becoming American citizens.
That's what I'm saying.
You have so much money. You have so much time. Quit protesting. Start doing.
Exactly. Instead of being,
But that's the problem with these leftists. They want everybody else to do the work, not them.
Correct.
I don't like it.
This is what blows my mind is they have not looked in the mirror.
No. And he's talking about, well, people are starving. If they are in their own country and their government is taking their food, they have every right to do something about it, or they come here and they get a job.
Mm-hmm.
They come here legally and get a job.
No,
like the rest of us who are struggling, get jobs.
Right.
Why my son works and has worked on and off since he was 16. Why my daughter is looking for work. Why I busted my ass from my teenage years on until I physically couldn't no more. I didn't just get out of high school and start claiming a mental disability because it's the newest trend. This is... they piss me off. Lazy motherfuckers wanting everybody else to provide for everybody. But then when it comes down to it, who's supposed to provide?
Right.
If everybody's supposed to get stuff for free, who's going to provide the stuff that goes out for free? Fuck. Idiots. Sorry.
Shame! Out now! Out now! Living real comfortable while the people starve. Living real comfortable.
He doesn't know. Their car could get repoed tomorrow. He doesn't know this. How's he going to sit there and say that? Like, my family is paycheck to paycheck, barely making it. We get by. We budget the shit out of our money. I mean, we had to spend our last money before the paycheck tomorrow to get the new clippers because I was cutting my son's hair for his job and the clippers burned out. We had to spend the last of our money to get clippers. It was no choice. I didn't have hair scissors. So, like, he does not know these people's living situation. There are people who literally, in churches, are barely making it. But they still go to church in faith that God will provide for them. This is what pisses me off. These idiot liberals do not understand that these people are one payment away, possibly one payment away from losing their vehicle, losing their home. If they lose their job, what do they have? That is what happens when you are a working American citizen. You don't get that big bank account to thrive on off of mommy and daddy so you can go protest around the nation. Because I'll tell you what, the average Social Security pension check for people who've never worked is like $800, $900 a month. That's Social Security for people who've never worked.
Right.
Imagine trying to live on $900 a month on your own. It's not possible. They have people that they can go home to, but they're using their disability checks or they're getting paid to protest because there's no way anyone who is actually working or truly on disability without outside support can get around to protest all these ICE things like this. I'm sorry. Financially, it's not possible. They have a place they go to where they're not paying the bills, somebody else is. Because if they had a home and they had a mortgage payment, they had house insurance, they had utilities, they had car payments, they'd have to be making easily $200,000 a year to even be able to do that in this day and age. And that's, again, if you don't budget it the best. If you're doing a moderate budget, you can't afford it. I'm sorry, these people are idiots. And then how are you going to take off work to go do all this protesting? They're idiots. I'm dragging this out
because children are dragged into concentration camps. You're all living real comfortable, aren't you?
Oh, that's the church bus.
On you. Do something. Stand with the Somalis.
That's the church bus taking the kids. Is that guy giving him the middle finger? Hold on. He is. The church guy's giving him the middle finger.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. Oh, that's funny. But that's actually the church van taking the kids whose parents are people who don't have a vehicle. So you're telling them they're all living comfortably when they have to catch a ride to church.
All right, what do you got next?
Oh my God. George.
Okay.
He's got some stuff to add into this too. I'm going to try not to disrupt. I'm going to do my best. But it really does get on my nerves when they sit there and make assumptions about people's lives.
Don Lemon is a coward, a disgusting human being, an irrelevant piece of little weasel. This is rock bottom. Today, Don Lemon did something that I thought we could not be doing in this country, something we shouldn't be doing. He led a group of radical lunatics, the worst people on the left, to storm a church. The words can't even come out of my mouth correctly. To storm a church because, according to Don Lemon, the pastor is pro-ICE. And they stormed the church during service, screaming at the congregation, harassing worshipers. Something I've never seen before in this country, honestly. But Don Lemon is getting exactly what's coming to him. because the Justice Department, the Assistant Attorney General for the Civil Rights Division at the DOJ, Harmeet Dillon, is on the case. And this is a violation of federal law. It's a violation of just about every law out there. It's not free speech. You don't get to violate other people's First Amendment right to worship God, to go scream about ICE and attack them at their church. Don Lemon led this. This is the guy that said January 6 protesters were like devils, the worst of the worst. So here's how this whole thing started. And then I'll give you what Harmeet Dillon is saying and the announcements from the DOJ team. It's not a protest, right? This guy showed up outside the church, started doing these interviews. He landed in Minneapolis, made a big deal out of it, and said this church that they're outside of is responsible for promoting ICE, that they're pro-ICE. This shameless little swine was in the parking lot doing these interviews.
Why they blocked that off, because we were able to come through and park there. So I don't know how...
White supremacists!
What's that going to mean?
This is a white supremacist agenda!
Why do you say that?
Fuck off.
No, me, dude, I'm not here.
Whose team are you on?
Come on, man. This is...
Right there. Whose team are you on? It's not about teams. We're all Americans, right? Why would they be asking that?
Lemon.
All right, man. All right. Well, sorry, brother. I'm so sorry.
Really?
No, I'm so sorry.
He's on our team.
Yeah, so why do you say that?
He's on our team, so treat him like a real human being.
This is a white supremacist agenda. They're not just going after criminals. I'm so sorry I went after you there. I didn't recognize
Do I
you.
look upset?
There's all kinds of folks out here with media. They're not just going after criminals. They're going door to door and they're targeting any black and brown person they can find.
That's not true. They're targeting people who are not here legally, not anyone they can find. Seriously, why would he conflate this the way he just did? Why? It doesn't make any sense. Don is such a loser. I agree, Blue Rose. I absolutely agree.
Yeah, so according to this guy, ICE is out in Minneapolis targeting every black and brown person. That's according to them. And so this is the moment they run into the church and start causing mayhem.
Absolutely unacceptable.
Not a single person in that congregation had anything to do with Renee Good's life getting taken. Renee Good got her own life taken from her by impeding federal law enforcement, blocking their vehicle, and then when they told her to get out of the car, which is a lawful order, she ran one over. What do these people mean, justice for Renee Good? How about justice for the ICE officer who could have gone home without, well, who couldn't have gone home? His family was waiting on him and he might have not shown up.
I had heard reports that there was some internal bleeding in his abdomen, that she had done enough damage that way with the vehicle. I haven't found any, I've heard reports of it, but no one's actually provided proof. So that is something to keep in mind.
Up if he didn't do what he did. Don Lemon goes into the church interviewing the pastors, the church members. So the Center for Baptist Leadership posted this shocking footage from the city's church.
So you can see the protesters here are
That's Don Lemon's voice. He's inside the church.
Oh, he did.
And I want to play this for you.
I didn't realize that.
And there's more information about this guy. At the beginning, I'll show you. It's actually really interesting. So here's what's going on. Assistant Attorney General Harmeet Dillon is launching a DOJ investigation into this entire situation. And hear Don Lemon's voice. Just hear him in the background. And the investigation is into Don Lemon as well.
The beginning of what's going to happen here. When you violate people's due process, when you pull people off.
When you violate people's due process, he's saying this about a church.
Off the street, and you start dragging them and hurting them and not abiding by the Constitution. When you start doing all of that, people get upset and angry. And if you remember with the civil rights movement.
Now, see, if Don Lemon wanted to avoid charges, he would have never stepped foot in that church. That's the funny part. He could have avoided being tied up in all of this if he had never gone inside. By going inside, he absolutely becomes part of it. Journalists don't go in with the protesters. They stay outside.
Movement was about. The civil rights movement was about these very kinds of protests. And for some reason, in our modern era, people think that in order to have protests, you got to be, cordoned off to a certain.
Right.
Say that again?
I said they need to be loud, aggressive, have a certain commonality in the way that they worship. And we'll get into that piece in a little bit as well.
Blue was asking if you're good. You're too quiet.
I'm not good. I'm with it, but I mean, I'm not passed out or anything, but thank you, Blue.
I was worried. I sent you a message in Discord.
I didn't
also.
even hear. Yeah, I didn't even. Oh, I have it on Do Not Disturb. That's why I didn't hear it.
Oh, okay.
That's why. I'm struggling with that, as you know. You know what I mean? When the baby's here, I don't like to have it on because it disrupts him, and then I forget to turn it back on, and I'm like, who's really bothering me? But no,
people just check in because it's
I'm being too quiet. Sorry.
Yeah, normally you chime in some, and that's why I was like, I sent a message.
No. Thank you. I'm struggling. I'm not gonna lie. It's taking everything I have not to be doing on-air vomiting for everybody, projectile vomiting.
And that's understandable. And I don't mind picking up on what I can.
I know.
Because again, you sent these over. I didn't really watch them. I don't know your perspective. I'm sure it's close to mine. So
yeah, we're pretty much on the same page. We think they're morons.
Yep. And Don Lemon, like I said, could have avoided complete charges if he had never stepped foot in that church and just stayed outside.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
the other piece that's disturbing about this is early on, I think it's the first video where they show the sheriff's office there and the fact that the police were called and didn't intervene because they have stand-down orders.
Yes.
From Walls and from Myers, I think
they did show that earlier in the video. Yeah.
Yeah.
The police blocking off the parking lot, even though the protesters were parked in it.
Right. Mm-hmm. I mean, what do you do in that case? And again, once mob mentality takes over, that could have turned into, and that
it could have been
guy,
very violent.
Yeah, that Kelly guy. If that was not an insurrection or inciting violence in any way, then I throw my hands up after this.
Yeah, this is not protesting.
Right.
Or peaceful. Oh, are you back?
Nope.
All right. We shall wait on D. But yeah, this is absolute bullcrap. That's all I have to say. And again, reverse the rules. If it was a group of protesters in a Southern church that promoted equal rights, all hell would break loose. All hell would break loose, and people would be before judges and courts and lawyers, and Jesse Jackson would be out there screaming with his fists in the air. But nope. because it's a mostly white church, as they put it. Oh, are we back?
I do just want to say, too, I've been putting all this time and effort into these shows, and I haven't gotten to enjoy the last two. You know what I mean? Like, geez.
I know.
You know what? Some of the ones that have been the most important that we've done, and I'm not, like, with it. Jeez.
It's okay. We understand.
Well, if not, I'll be in the hospital bed doing this from there.
That's an option, too.
Mm-hmm.
We're very flexible like that.
As Blue said, it's time for me to do my month-long vacation in the nursing facility. I should be there this month. Normally I'm there, so.
Yeah. It's usually a yearly routine for you.
Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. Because,
But fingers crossed, knocking on wood, it won't be needed.
Nope, not in 2026. That's for sure.
New year, better situation, right?
Yes, ma'am. All right, go ahead.
Certain area
Yes, actually, and I'm about to prove it to you, Don. There are restrictions. You can't protest everywhere. Not every venue is a public space or square. You can't run into people's houses, private property, church property, and protest. It's called the FACE Act.
What time you can protest. There's nothing in the Constitution that tells you what time you can protest. You can protest at any time. That's the whole point of it, is to disrupt.
Actually, it says you have to go by the state ordinances, but, he can't be bothered to look that up.
To make uncomfortable. And that's what they're doing. And that's what
protests are not meant to make people uncomfortable. Protests are to get your message out so people can hear it. It's not to make people uncomfortable.
I believe when I say everyone has to be willing to sacrifice something, you have to make...
Great, Don Lemon. How about you sacrifice a bedroom in your little big old house and take in a family?
Right.
Sorry.
Or better yet, take in some of the gang members that are here.
Oh, yeah. That just, because of poverty.
Exactly.
Or how about donating 50% of your check that you don't use?
Right.
And put it to some kind of community center. Oh, but you got to live in your big old house. You can't downsize, sacrifice your house, sacrifice a car or two, and go live in a humble home. I live in 900 square foot with 3 other people. Why do some of these celebrities need such big homes?
Right.
Live in a humble setting.
Multiple homes.
Yeah.
Look at, I didn't see Obama's giving up Martha's Vineyard for anybody.
Or their place in Hawaii, or their place in, where was it? What was that other one?
Mm-hmm.
There was like 3 of them, 3 more. You guys have the extra money to give. Downsize and give away your money.
Right.
Trump's giving away his entire payments.
Paycheck.
For being president.
Paycheck, right.
He doesn't need them. He has literally set that up in his last term to go straight to a donation. What are you guys doing?
Yeah, it goes to a government agency is where it goes back to.
Oh, it does?
Mm-hmm. He gives it back to a government agency.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
See, Don, you could live in a smaller house with 1 or 2 vehicles and give up the rest of your check.
Right.
How's that?
Right.
Make people uncomfortable in these times. If you see...
So you're hearing him say it, guys, because this evidence will be used in the courtroom. Like, we are hearing full proof that his intention was to go in there and disrupt worshipers, cause mayhem, cause chaos. You are hearing it from Don Lemonade himself.
How uncomfortable people, uncomfortably, and how harsh people are being treated on the streets. You have to be willing to go into places and disrupt and make people uncomfortable.
Okay, so make people uncomfortable. That's what he said. Should I slap myself if I'm understanding this wrong? Let me know in the comments. Am I understanding this wrong? Did Don Lemon not just admit that he was in there to witness and to support a riot, disrupting a church sermon, Did you hear that correctly? Okay. Well, Harmeet Dillon, the Assistant U.S. Attorney General for the Civil Rights Division, she deals with First Amendment issues
Yeah, and
and
one
things.
thing, stop there, Crazy B. One thing
I
about
did.
Harmeet is the RNC really made a huge mistake. She was up to run to be the head of the RNC, and those white men picked a career politician kind of person that kept the
Yep.
status quo. They didn't want her getting in there and putting her hands on anything. And
Because
Trump,
she would have changed it.
that's correct. And Trump and Pam Bondi did a great service to this country. She handles cases predominantly of conservatives, including those that do stupid things. And we'll see later on where she makes recommendations what to do if you're going to be stupid. But I have followed her for a long time, and she is one of the, I think, most upstanding attorneys that I have seen. Again, I would have rather seen her over Pam Bondi, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I think more would have been done, but I think she can
Yeah,
actually do more at her level than
probably. Yeah,
even
then
higher up. Because
right.
the higher up the go, the less you actually get to do.
Exactly. You're more of a spokesperson.
Yes, you're a figurehead,
Mm-hmm.
not an actual get it done person.
Right.
And things like this. She responded to Todd Starnes, who wrote, Don Lemon defends storming the Minneapolis church today and shutting down the service, saying this is what the First Amendment is about, the freedom to protest. Lemon told viewers, I'm sure people here don't like it, but protest are not comfortable. Okay, so you heard that. And Harmeet Dillon is saying, a house of worship is not a public forum for your protest. It is a space protected from exactly such acts by federal criminal and civil laws. Nor does the First Amendment protect your pseudo-journalism of disrupting a prayer service. You are on notice, Don Lemon. You are on notice. And then she reiterates on her private account that this is not protected speech. So Don Lemon himself admits we are here to disrupt, we're here to harass, go after the worshipers.
Yep.
And then he gets in an argument with the pastor, and I gotta say, this pastor...
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I was just looking up, I wanted to see the info on his husband. And it took me right to Don Lemon's Wikipedia page, okay? I had forgotten he was charged. He faced accusations. I don't think anything was done of it, but he was involved in the reporting during the trial of Jussie Smollett's hate crime. They revealed during court testimony that Don had sent Smollett messages informing him that the Chicago PD did not believe his account of what happened on the night in question. Lemon, who covered the trial on his CNN show, the Don Lemon Tonight Show, did not disclose his involvement or his interactions with Smollett.
Yes.
And he was also charged with allegations of misogyny against, of all people, Caitlin Collins, and I don't recall Harlow's first name, over pay inequity in sports.
Yeah.
So he really, then he also went after Nikki Haley. I had forgotten until I went back to him just about how controversial he really is.
Yeah, he almost botched a trial by passing information to the defendant.
Yeah.
Or the plaintiff, or whatever the situation is.
Yeah, so he was fired in 2023. But his contract would have expired in this year anyway, so they got him 3 years earlier.
Which saved them because their ratings were getting worse and worse.
Right.
With the extreme divisiveness of him and that what's that chick?
Yeah.
That they ended up letting go too.
Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, I know who you mean.
Yeah, the bald chick that hated white people. I can't remember her name.
I can see her face.
I know, but I can't. That's how irrelevant she is now.
Right. And the other thing is, he was let go the same day Tucker Carlson was fired by Fox News. I'd forgotten that too. I mean, all these are things really that we think they're coincidental. Are they?
They were both the extremists on the networks.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you can have your opinions. Doesn't mean everyone's going to agree with them, including your boss.
Right.
So know when to open your mouth and when not to.
Right.
Here demonstrated magnanimity and benevolence.
Joy Reid, thank you.
Joyless
Reid.
Yes.
Thank you,
Reid.
JJ. Oh my God, I could see.
And then when you hear her name, you're like, yeah, that's it. You know what I mean? But we're struggling.
Yeah, but my brain's struggling today too. Don't feel bad. I seriously, I fell asleep at, what was it, around 9:30 this morning, and didn't wake up till 1.
Right.
I was up all night. My body has not readjusted thanks to the steroids I was on. So, yeah.
Benevolence, Christian charity, because I would have started swinging on this guy. But this pastor was patient and very calm.
What do you think of this? I mean, this is unacceptable. It's shameful. It's shameful to interrupt a public gathering of Christians in worship.
But there were folks who will say,
I have to take care of my flock.
Okay, but listen, we live there's a constitution in the First Amendment to freedom of speech and freedom to assemble and protest.
Not in a
church. We're here to worship Jesus, because that's the hope of these cities. That's the hope of the world, is Jesus Christ.
I want to be very respectful. Please don't push me, though.
We're here to worship.
You see the way he did that? Please don't push me. And the pastor never put his hand on him.
Right.
He's up in the guy's face. He's trying to lean back the entire time. And he's like, please don't push me. Where? Show me where he touched you, because I got news for you. He didn't. He's trying to make it into more than it is.
Yep.
It's theater.
Right.
Oh my God.
It gives the impression that the aggressors are the ones in the church, that he's not.
The guy never put his hand on him.
No.
And you can see he's leaning back, like trying to get out of his, back up, get out of my face, dude.
And he asks him to leave, and he doesn't.
Yeah. And again, a church is not a place to do this.
Did you guys see a push anywhere? Where was the push?
You called it too.
What an accuser of the brethren. Please don't push me. Like, he just accused this pastor of pushing him. There was not a push anywhere to be seen. What a demon. Don Lemon is filled with a demon.
We're here to worship Jesus. Yes. That's why we're here. Yeah. Okay, that's why we're here. Okay. That's what we're about.
Don't you think Jesus would be understanding
we're about
and love these folks?
We're about spreading the love of Jesus.
But did you try to talk to them as a Christian?
No one is willing to talk.
Okay.
I have to take care of my church and my family, so I asked that you actually would also leave this building.
You don't want us to chronicle what happened?
Unless you're here to worship.
I'm always worship. I'm a Christian.
We're here to worship. We're here to worship. Okay.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I'm a Christian. 5 seconds ago, you're pushing me to a pastor who's just standing there answering questions in the most peaceful and benevolent way he could.
And what's interesting is they went to this church because the pastor is he works for ICE, okay? But they got the wrong pastor. This isn't the one that works. Yeah, they got the wrong one.
Idiots! Can't even research properly.
Yep, got the wrong one. Duh.
Oh. I'm telling you. Oh, shaking my head. You guys
So
can't see
yeah,
me.
so Pam Bondi and Harmy Dillon also called the pastor uh, of the pastors of the congregation and talked to them and told them how to respond going forward and how to handle the church members, etc.
Yeah, get the kids to a safe
Right,
area, get the women to
right.
a safe area. Try not to interact. Don't make physical contact. Don't talk. Call the police. Get them out.
Well, the kicking the what good
I
is
know,
it
not that
calling
the
the
police are going to do
police?
anything.
Right, that's
I'll
the
call ICE to
problem.
have them all removed since ICE is going after colored people, anyways.
Right, right.
That'd be funny.
Yep.
I mean, these idiots are lucky someone didn't jump the gun. And again, I don't know the 2A laws in that state, but I'm sure there are people who have guns on them and are, again, they're lucky because if anybody had been armed, they have the right to defend the congregation. That's been proven across the state, across states, the entire country. Like, depending on the laws, if someone's doing something in a church, like, I mean, you could walk into any church down here where I live, and there's at least 50 people at every church,
Mm-hmm.
and I guarantee at least half of them are armed, and not including the women. I mean, half the men are armed. Then you throw in some of the women who are armed. Yeah, like, these idiots are lucky they didn't start some shit and that people are better controlled than
Right.
they are. Everybody in that church had better control over their emotions. Hell, the kids had better control over their emotions than the people
Mm-hmm.
storming it. That's sad. That is so sad. That these are grown adults throwing temper tantrums because they're not getting their way in public. So they go out and
Right.
they just throw a temper tantrum.
You know, how many of them wrote a letter to their congressperson or called Congress or tried to
Because
have
Congress don't do shit,
Yeah.
so they're taking it into their own hands.
Right.
Well, blaming everybody on the right of being them. It's a
Right.
projection behavior. They're projecting their own behaviors onto everybody else because they can't look in a mirror.
Right.
One day, I hope they see how stupid they were.
I doubt it.
I do too, but I hope. I can pray.
If Don Lemon did this to some pastors, some certain types of pastors in the South with a little bit more temper in them, he would be getting slapped. Because you walk into this man's institution where they were worshiping God, you disrupt
But that's precisely why it wasn't a Southern church.
Well,
and because most of the Baptist church and the Southern ones are, well, not most of the Southern church, but quite a few of the inner city ones are liberal idiots.
Well, plus Minneapolis though is the hot spot right now, so
Yeah,
that's why they wouldn't, wouldn't go south for right now.
But it's not like they could go to the Muslim community and do this.
Exactly. Oh yeah.
It's not like they could go and do this to any other community.
Right.
It would be considered a hate crime, and this
Well,
is.
it still is considered. Just because you're white doesn't mean that you can't have a hate crime against you.
Exactly.
And so many people
That's what
think
they don't get.
Right.
They
And so many
get
people.
that the Civil Rights Act covers every race.
That's correct. Even the pink polka dotted people.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Service. And you're accusing him of pushing you. You're accusing him of being a hater, having hate in his heart, accusing the brethren like the devil does. Lemon is taking after his father, the devil. And you think he's just supposed to sit there and tolerate you? No, get out. Man, like some people needed to have gotten spanked when they were kids. Okay, now this is what's really going to screw Don Lemon. So in 1994, Congress passed an act signed by law, the FACE Act, Freedom of Access to Clinic Entrances Act of 1994. It amends the Federal Criminal Code to prohibit intentionally injuring intimidating or interfering with or attempting to injure, intimidate, or interfere any person by force, threat, force, or physical obstruction, because that person is or has been, in order to intimidate such person or any other person or any other class of persons from obtaining or providing reproductive health services. So you see, part one is about abortion.
And part one is about abortion because the churches were going and protesting abortion clinics.
Yeah,
at
not
that
just
time.
and not only the churches, but individuals were. And
Yes.
Biden,
Do you remember the pipe bombings at the abortion
yes,
clinics back then? I do.
yes, yeah. And
In
Biden,
1994, I was 11, and
yeah,
I remember there being pipe bombings
right.
before that act was put into place.
And if you recall correctly, just during the Biden administration, they used the FACE Act against
Yes.
people that just prayed across the street
For the
from
souls of the
abortion
unborn.
That's
Yes.
correct.
Yes.
And they were sentenced to jail time.
Yep. So this is far worse what
Yes.
Don
Oh,
Lemon
yeah.
and his buddies did.
Oh, yeah.
But I remember when this was put into place. I remember the big up to do, and I was 11. How many 11-year-olds even pay attention to this kind of stuff? Very few. But I remember the bombings, the nurses, the pregnant mothers losing their babies because of it. And they were there not for abortions, but for actual prenatal care because they were in that gap where they didn't quite qualify for Medicaid and they didn't have private insurance at the time. It wasn't required, and your work didn't always cover pregnancy.
Right.
So they went to the what are they called? Yeah, those
Planned
clinics.
Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood. Because back then they actually did more than abortions.
Right.
But now, I mean, it's literally turned into an abortion clinic. But there were other clinics. I remember many people injured, dead, lost the babies they were not there to have aborted. 8-month-along babies, premature. It's like, I remember how scary that, like, insane it was that religious zealots were going there.
Right.
And doing that. And that's when religions had to dial it back. They were forced to dial it back. Freedom of religion does not allow you to impose your religious beliefs on others.
Right.
And yet we're allowing Muslims to do it.
I was just going to say
go figure.
I was just going to say that.
I know. I'm covering all bases. I'm blaming all people. But it's gotten out of hand. Again, this has been something that was died down. Yes, you could complain about it in your church. You can complain about it in your home, but you could not go there and impose your beliefs on others, especially with a bomb. And here's Don Lemon doing exactly what this act was put into place for.
Right.
Impeding on people's religious beliefs. Okay, I'm going to shut up and get through this last minute. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
It drives me nuts.
Part two is intentionally injuring, intimidating, or interfering with, which is a very broad word, or attempting to injure, intimidate. So you don't even necessarily have to injure, intimidate, or interfere with. Attempting to do it is enough. So interfere any person by force, threat of force, or physical obstruction, exercising or seeking to exercise the First Amendment right of religious freedom at a place of religious worship.
Yep.
So you have a law that literally says you can't just storm a church. That law could not be more specific. And Don Lemon did just that. He disrupted a church sermon to protest, and he was caught on camera admitting that
self-snitching.
Thinking not self-snitching, but trying to
they put their crimes out there for the obvious.
Right.
I mean,
and they do it all the time. They tell on themselves all the time.
Yes.
They can't help themselves. He's so proud of his journalism reporting.
He made it clear it was to make them uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right there. Intimidation tactic, like I was saying before we even played this.
Yep.
Fear mongering, fear tactics, terrorism. Exactly what these idiots, like, our Constitution is out going to live them.
Well, I hope it does.
I hope it does. Well, I'm knocking on wood. And to heck with this bull crap. He's an idiot. Okay. But I really gotta. They got, it'd be so much easier if they didn't film their own stupidity.
Right.
It'd be so much easier. The internet has been a blessing and a curse at the same time.
Well, for the some of the stupid people.
It's been a curse. Well, they don't realize it's a curse yet. They think they think they're doing everything right and is morally just. But you know what? They need to read more about the Bible because there's there's like a bunch of segments in the Bible about borders and protecting your people within your borders.
Right.
Should Delta Force the retards?
They should Delta Force the retards. No. But I mean, you look at 1st and 2nd Kings, 1st and 2nd Samuel, Judges. It's all about borders, how to rule your people wisely and profoundly, properly through the eyes of God. They skipped over those parts of the Bible because what? No lessons that pertain to them? Right. Sorry, read the whole Bible, not just cherry picking this stuff. So, okay, I'm going to stop while I'm ahead. Please just tell me to shut up.
You're good.
That he was there to disrupt, to interfere with other people's First Amendment right. The people in that congregation had the First Amendment right, their God-given freedom to worship God without fear of anyone else attacking that right or disrupting their ability to do so. And Don Lemon did precisely that.
Yes, he did. It's, again, insane that these people are screaming about letting all these illegals in and all this stuff. And what would Jesus do? They really need to read the Bible more.
Right.
That's all I can say. Next one is an article. Okay. Don Lemon is having a meltdown over the DOJ probe.
Yes, he is. And the videos were a little more difficult to find on them, but former CNN host Don Lemon took to TikTok on Sunday to defend his participation in what many are calling a blatant act of harassment against Christians, claiming that filming a mob storming a Minneapolis church service was merely an act of journalism. The incident, which took place at City's Church, involved rioters protesting immigration enforcement disrupting a Sunday service. Lemon, who live streamed the event on YouTube, found himself in the crosshairs of federal authorities after the Department of Justice's Civil Rights Division announced a probe into the matter. In his video response, Lemon appeared agitated and dismissive, particularly targeting Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights Harmy Dillon. The MAGA administration and the fake news MAGAs are losing their mind over something that's not even true, Lemon said, feigning ignorance of the high-ranking official's name. This Assistant Attorney General, I don't know, gosh, what's her name? Something Hammy Dillon or whatever. I didn't even know they were going to this church until we followed them there.
Bullshit.
However, Lemon's claim of ignorance regarding the group's target stands in stark contrast to his own commentary just moments before the disruption. Operation Pull-Up and Premeditation. Before the chaos erupted inside the sanctuary, Lemon introduced the group's leader to his livestream audience, teasing an organized event dubbed Operation Pull-Up. Reminds me of the diapers. The diaper
Yes.
pull-ups? Yeah.
I know, that's what I was thinking.
I can't tell you exactly what they're doing, but it's called Operation Pull-Up, Lemon told his viewers, noting that the groups plan to surprise people, catch them off guard, and hold them to account. Critics argue this suggests Lemon was not merely a passive observer chronicling protest as he claimed, but an active participant aware that a targeted disruption was imminent. Uncomfortable and traumatic. Perhaps the most jarring aspect of Lemon's live stream was his real time commentary as the situation inside the church deteriorated. As footage showed families and young children fleeing the sanctuary into Minneapolis's brutal 14-degree weather to escape the shouting demonstrators. Lemon offered a cold assessment of the fear visible in the pews. Watch this guy here. Look, he's hugging his kid, and I imagine it is uncomfortable and traumatic for the people here, Lemon remarked, briefly breaking character to warn his cameraman about ice on the ground. Rather than condemning the intimidation of families at prayer, Lemon justified it. It's uncomfortable and traumatic for the people here, but that's what protesting is about. The whole point of it is to disrupt and make people uncomfortable. The FACE Act and the federal response. The nonchalant attitude towards disrupting a religious gathering has drawn the full attention of the Department of Justice. Attorney General Pam Bondi did not mince words, vowing to utilize the full force of federal law to protect religious liberty. I just spoke to the pastor in Minnesota whose church was targeted. Attacks against law enforcement and the intimidation of Christians are being met with the full force of federal law, Bondi stated on X. Harmy Dillon pointed specifically to the freedom of access to clinical entrance, also known as the FACE Act. While the Biden administration frequently utilized this statute to prosecute pro-life demonstrators praying outside abortion clinics, the law also explicitly prohibits the intentional disruption of religious services. Lemon, however, remained defiant, waving the banner of the First Amendment to shield the actions of the mob. It's called journalism, Lemon insisted. First Amendment, all that stuff. For all of you people who believe in the First Amendment, absolutes, there you go. As federal investigators looked at the footage, the question remains whether they will view Lemon as a reporter covering the news or an accessory to a federal crime who knew exactly where Operation Pull-Up was heading.
I am a constitutional absolutist. You've heard me.
Yes.
First, freedom of speech, absolute. Freedom of religion, absolute. Second Amendment, absolute. There is a reason that the Second Amendment is the shortest one, with very few clauses in it. I support the First Amendment, but you do it outside the church, not inside the church.
Right.
You do it down the road from the church. You do it down the block. You do not
go inside the sanctuary
to the church.
Correct.
Don Lemon could have been the journalist on the outside, but the fact that he talked to them beforehand, during, and after, he was absolutely complicit.
And I still find it amazing that people are questioning whether he was being a reporter or if he knew. I think the killer's going to be the Facebook post where the activist states that they'll be meeting on Sunday and they tag him in it. And
he knew.
He knew. Right.
He got tagged to be there on that Sunday. Yes.
Yeah.
That's really. I'm all about absolutes.
The fact that he, when he bumps into Mike Kelly, the tall, white, loud mouth, And,
Uh-huh.
they're like, watch it, man. And, oh, Dawn, I didn't recognize you and blah, blah. And that was all a setup. That whole interaction was a setup between the two.
Wow. They should get the Golden Globe.
Wow. Or the Dumbass Award.
We
'Cause
should make a
again,
Dumbass Award
yeah,
and start posting it with the
yeah,
pictures at the end of the year.
yeah, see who
Dumbass of the
wins.
year.
Yeah. It's absolutely
But
ridiculous.
like I said, I am absolutely constitutional absolutist.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what, though? You're an absolute dumbass. I got
There you
3
go.
absolutes for you.
There you
You
go.
absolutely knew. You absolutely did this on purpose, and you are an absolute dumbass.
There you go. I'll
Oh my
absolutely
God.
agree with you. All right, what's next?
We got TMZ chiming in on this.
Now, finally, the St. Paul Police Department is opening up a local investigation into the church protest. So that's something new.
Well, they have to at this point. It was
Yes,
so
I think.
blatant.
Yes, and I think the fact that the feds came down on them was tremendous. Crazy B, if you'd check your DMs, please.
Will do.
Thank you, ma'am. If you'd scroll up, I'll start reading.
Okay.
Okay, so the St. Paul Police Department has opened an investigation after anti-ICE protesters, as we know, crashed them, and Don Lemon may be ensnared. St. Paul Police told TMZ the department is actively working the Sunday incident as a disorderly conduct investigation. Seriously? That's the best you could do.
Yeah.
Okay. Due to the open case, police declined all other questions, including whether Lemon was exempt from the investigation. The DOJ said on Monday an investigation had been opened and hinted that Lemon is part of the probe. Police tell TMZ they have not heard from the feds, which that's a lie, and their investigation is independent. Police were called by several city church parishioners, reporting approximately 30 to 40 protesters interrupted services because they believe a pastor works for ICE. Don Lemon was on scene working as an independent journalist and was live streaming as he tried to interview the lead pastor on the spot. The man identified as David Easterwood was not present, and that's the guy that they claim works for ICE.
Uh-huh.
Police tell us by the time officers arrived on the scene, the group had moved outside the church and began to walk down the alley. Officers stayed on the scene to monitor.
Right.
Isn't that all just rich? You know what? Let's everybody applaud TMZ for that great reporting.
I do gotta ask, did you hit send in Discord?
No, that came from somebody else. I just wanted to make sure it was something we
I
didn't
didn't get
need.
anything from anybody else.
Okay, I thought it came up to us. All right, let me look real quick. All right, what do you got next?
I am pulling it up. Oh, the video.
Yes.
Oh, from TMZ. This is yeah.
Yeah.
We found out through the ACLU lawsuit that David Easterman, I keep saying his name wrong, Easterwood, was a pastor at this church on Summit Avenue. And for us, that's just really, it was like the lowest bar. It's like, you have these people in our community just really terrorizing our children and our women and our different immigrant communities.
If they were doing things right, they'd have nothing to fear. Just gonna point that out.
They're arresting U.S. citizens and doing all of this illegal stuff, all the way down to even the most graphic murder of Renee Good.
It wasn't a murder. It was a self-defense. Sorry.
And then we have the head of this whole operation standing in a pulpit preaching to a congregation every Sunday morning. And so that was really just not okay for us.
And who are you to judge? Judge not, lest ye be judged. He who without sin casts the first stone. I can keep quoting some more stuff from the Bible, because I highly doubt you are highly righteous and above all others.
I believe that's what needed to be done to get the message across.
No.
I mean, my mother is a pastor, and so I grew up in Christianity. I grew up in the church.
If your mother is a pastor, it is not Christianity. I'm just going to point that out too. I absolutely need to point that out. Christian churches believe women were not supposed to lead the congregation. The Bible did not put women in charge. Yes, I wonder how much of that's been adapted and changed over the years, but I still do not complain. No, I have a feeling it was one of those woke churches.
Church. And one of the things that I remember about Jesus Christ himself is that when things weren't going right in the church, he went in and he flipped tables.
That was, what it was. It wasn't that the church wasn't doing it right. It was that they were gambling in the church. That had nothing to do. Oh, go ahead.
And she acts like she remembers them like it was yesterday. Like she knows
That's
them.
not the story.
Right. And she knows them personally. Okay.
No, but that's not the story. He flipped the tables because they were gambling in the church.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the synagogue.
Right.
They were gambling. That is a sin. That is defiling the sanctity of the religious place. You do not do that. That is not the same thing as securing borders. And again, the sermon wasn't about deport all these illegals and all this stuff. It wasn't a racist thing. Plain and simple. Same thing.
Right. And Vanilla says women can't be pastors. Yes, they are.
There are women pastors, but there are questionable verses in the Bible that women don't like to see it that way, but according to the Bible, women are not supposed to be leading the churches.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's why I said I don't know how much of it is Catholic influence before it got to the rest of the religions. But it's, again, a debate, hotly debated this day and age. But beforehand, women were not supposed to be leading religion at all. Like, nope, your job was to learn and assist your husband. This woman acting like because the church wasn't following the woke agenda, Jesus flipped tables. No, Jesus flipped tables because they were gambling.
Yeah, they, as usual, they're leaving out
the Pharisees,
context.
Actually, in particular.
Yeah, they're leaving out context. They're leaving out the before and the after.
Because she probably doesn't know the whole story.
Exactly.
She just knows Jesus chased him with, and she
right.
didn't know that he also chased him with a whip in the process for defiling a church by gambling there. Again, no. Know the whole preaching or shut the hell up. Again, I don't have the Bible memorized the way I used to. I could have given you exact scriptures to go to. I'll go by that. But rather than blue-haired women's feelings. Exactly. I go by the Bible, not the blue-haired people screaming about it. Exactly. I know. I've never been to a church where a woman was a pastor. Never.
Oh,
and I don't think I would support one.
Ours is, and after the baby's baptism, we will not be back.
Blue has nothing to do with this. I might have to dye my hair blue now. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Vanilla. I'll have to change my hair from green to blue, or I'll leave it green and not care. But no, seriously, they act like they're so much better because they remember a fragment of a full story.
Right.
A fragment of a full story. This is what I mean by cherry picking the Bible. You can't do that. I hate text to speech. It's so bad. I know what you meant,
As
though.
Christians, I truly believe in following Christ. I don't
No, you
follow a
don't.
pastor. I don't follow an ideology. I truly study the Bible, and I truly.
If you truly studied the Bible, you would know this invasion of a church was absolutely uncalled for, religiously, socially, legally. No. You need to maybe talk to some more people about what you're reading. I'm sorry.
Study Jesus Christ and how he was able to demonstrate the love for the people and really confront things that were wrong in the community, in society, really, and stand on what God expected of him, which was love. I mean, why do they have time to investigate something like that? And they're not even looking at the Epstein files and Donald Trump's affiliation with that.
Oh, let's look at Bill Clinton's affiliation with that instead of Donald Trump.
Well,
that
yeah,
one interests me more.
Yeah, and maybe now they could bring up their contempt of
court. Yeah.
For Congress. Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, the reason they're looking to it because it's a civil rights violation. Your guys' second holy book, civil rights. Oh my God, did these people not get this?
We need to be investigating who killed Renee Good.
They already know who did. They already know who shot her, and they already know why. What's the mystery? It was an ICE agent she almost ran over, who supposedly has internal bleeding. Had internal bleeding afterwards. They know who did it. Why is there got to be an investigation into who? They know who. Like, is she really this stupid?
Pretty much.
Okay, it's not just me.
No.
Okay.
Should be investigating who killed Keith Porter. There's
so much Keith
crime
Porter?
and so much.
Do you know who Keith Porter is?
I've heard the name.
Okay. All right. I don't know who he is. I've never heard his name. Well, this is playing. I'll Google it really quick.
I was just going to get ready to do that. Go ahead.
Okay.
So much terrorism happening in our communities that peaceful protesters really going into a space to educate the community about immoral practices should not be the center point of our DOJ. There's a lot of money in the DOJ, and
he was shot and killed by an off-duty immigration officer. Oh yeah, no. Here's the thing: they left this out in the summary on the AI summary. He was the one who had that AR and was firing it off in LA celebrating the New Year, and a off-duty ICE agent told him to put the gun down. There's claims that the person was shot at, the off-duty ICE officer was shot at 3 times before he returned fire. They know who the off-duty officer is. They're not releasing his name to the public. So she's again full of shit. This is another person. They know exactly who it is, and they know exactly why.
Right.
Yes, Jesus showed his love by being crucified. Sounds like she wants her own cross.
I doubt she would die on it.
No, she would not. She would not. She wants to be remembered as some great savior, but she's not even close.
Right.
I mean, she's out here with them all with this bullshit. Oh, who killed this person? Who killed that? They know who killed them. An off-duty ICE officer, very well known in the neighborhood, lived there, lived in the apartment complex. They know who. What is she making it sound like it's some big mystery? Who did it? Try reading the full article.
See, the thing about all of this, I really don't care about. I mean, I do, but for the topic, right? I don't care about Keith Porter. I don't care about her
Renee
Epstein
Good.
file, her
Yep.
Epstein file, Renee Good or whatever. You're changing the subject because
To take
you
away from the fact we need secure borders.
that and you're taking away from what happened at the church on Sunday because there is no way you can support it. You do not have the right to walk into somebody's congregation and wreak the havoc that you did.
Yeah.
You know, is it now Minneapolis is looking at it as disorderly conduct. I would tell you that what they did where I'm at, that you could make a case that that rises to terroristic threats.
It does.
Which is hold on.
In my opinion, it
Hold
does.
on. Murder rate assault. I want to say it's 4th, 5th on the list of the crimes code, so it's up there. All right. They may direct threats to do harm to people. Mr. Big Mouth did.
Yeah.
They knew what they were doing. It was all planned. It was not an organic, Don Lemon. I just happened to fly into Minneapolis to see what I could see.
No,
He's full of
he was
shit.
invited. And this is the problem I have with these people. They're bearing false witness.
Everywhere he's been since the demise of his career has been orchestrated.
Yeah.
And and we're just two little idiot women. If you want to sum it up, we're not the DOJ investigators.
We don't even have the we don't have the level of tools they've got to use.
We're just doing, the best digging that we could drum up. And we're piecing this all together.
And we did this under Biden too.
Yeah, we did.
I mean, it's not hard to do research on your own and find this information. It's not hard to use your brain. Well, obviously, it's hurting this woman. She can barely keep her eyes open because of the angle. But still, she's talking about who did this, who did that. They already know. You're so stupid. You can't bother to look it up and find that they already know who did it. They already know these things. The investigations have been done on Epstein. No one's released the files. Trump was investigated long ago. Turns out he might have even been an informant against Epstein a couple of times.
But but he's involved. He's involved. Don't you know?
This is what I mean. They're so stupid about this. They can't keep up with it. They can't keep up with the updates. They can't read the whole articles.
Right, but yet, what about Bill Clinton in the blue dress? How do you explain that?
How about all the famous actors and actresses and all the people around the world of different royalties and leaders of different countries who were there?
Yep.
Anyone want to dive into that one?
Yep.
No, only Trump.
Yeah. Right.
Trump was the only person who ever visited Epstein's island. Right. Actually, they still haven't found any proof of him being on the island. They've only found him as proof of using the plane.
Right.
But any proof of him ever being on the island, from my understanding. So, why is she asking about all this stuff that's already been figured out?
Because it deflects from what really is going on.
Yeah, exactly. Do you want to listen to the last minute and a half of her? Oh, Dee disappeared. Well, I don't know where Dee went. But I can surmise she disappeared on us. There you are.
Yep. Mid-sentence, kick me out.
I
Why
was going
not?
to say, do you want to finish this or do we want to call it a night?
It's up to you.
I've got people
How
on the
much?
other side of the room saying call it a night.
All right, that's fine. We'll call it a night then.
Yeah.
All right
This
then.
lady's just going to just spew more stupidity.
Right. All right.
Can't even.
We will pick back up tomorrow then at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, we thank you for joining Rex Sisters. Please don't forget to like, follow, comment, share, and subscribe. We would greatly appreciate it if you would definitely give us a like and a follow and share this information out. I think, with this is probably going to take us through Friday, Crazy B. I mean, to be honest with
Easily.
you, as more gets released, we just have so much content that I think other people aren't even showing as well. So we'll see. We'll see where we go. And with that, I'm done, and I'm just going to go off and be sick by myself.
I'm going to go ahead and update the description for everyone. And I will go with the stay safe, stay sane, stay sober. And we will go ahead and catch y'all on the next one. Tomorrow will be our usual time.
Good night.
Good night.